And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Happy January 3rd. It's probably January 3rd where most of you are at. I don't know. We've got a pretty big spread of locations of people, but happy first Wednesday stream of 2024. I got the year right. I did go back and watch last Wednesday's stream to make sure that you guys weren't trolling me. I did say happy that it's the last Wednesday of 2013, last Wednesday. So that's a permanent memory I'll never forget. But hope everybody is doing fantastic and that you all had a great new year, safe new year with lots of good food and yeah, celebration. So let's see. Before we get anything, I want to wish Nice a happy birthday. If we can get some happy birthdays Nice in the chat, that'd be awesome. Let's see who's all here. We've got Phil, Kevin, Alan, RS, Todd, Raum. Nope, Palm. I said that wrong. Alien's here. I saw Lisa a second ago. Hey, Odyssey. CB's here. How's it going? Time isn't real since COVID. Yeah, the last three. I forget now, like how long it's been since the Rona. It feels like 2 years, but I think we just clocked the like 3-year anniversary of. It's been a crazy few years here. So hey, Jeff. Shirt Shack. What is going on? Mitchits. Jose. Hey, sorry. How's it going? So let's. 4 years. It's been 2020. So it was 2020, all of 2020, all of 2021, all of 2022. Oh, I think you're right. I think it is. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. So yeah, even though I'm saying it and thinking about it, I don't even know how long it's been. 4 years. Yeah, I feel like time has definitely sort of blipped since lockdowns and stuff like that. I don't know. Everything just sort of shifted around, and I feel like everyone feels like they think they lost a couple of years, and that's wild. So alrighty, today we are going to be continuing with the SIBOOR Enderwire conversion. I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on what I've done since last week's stream, which isn't exactly a whole lot, but still think it's worth catching everybody up. And then sort of what the plans are for today, so that way we've got a goal in mind, and then we'll get started. So anyone that didn't see last Saturday's video, the Creality K1 Max has had all sorts of mesh issues and bed issues, which I discovered when trying to print out parts for the Enderwire. Last week's video was about sort of my rabbit hole of adventures, trying to figure out what the heck is going on with this printer. Well, after I made the changes outlined in the video and added springs, it's been performing substantially better. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's been flawless, because that feels like too good of a word to use for the experience, but it's been pretty good. And so all of these parts, with the exception of 2 black parts on the top, have been printed out on the K1 Max. These are all Polymaker Galaxy ABS. So these are, I finished all the primary parts, I finished the accent parts. The only things I have yet to print out are the panel clips and doors and stuff like that. It's the very last thing that we'll be doing, and we've got a few weeks for that, so I figured, let's not print more parts than I need, which might make it kind of messier to find things, and just print out the ones we'll need for the actual main build. I also printed out a stack. You guys can't really see this over here, but these are all alternative. The pieces we're throwing. These are all alternative upgrade parts. So I was oops, I'm dropping stuff. We're off to a fantastic start. I see 2024 will be the year of the Butterfinger. So I was recommended a handful of upgrades, and I printed them all out, and I'm going to sort of compare, when we get to the parts, how the upgrades look against the part that is in the default STL repository, and we'll see whether we want to upgrade or not. The bombs should be identical for these parts as far as I'm aware, and the primary things are like, some parts are beefier, I think one part allows for a larger Y motor, so they're kind of like small yet nice quality of life improvements. And originally I wasn't going to do them, but I figured what the heck, I'll at least print them out and kind of see how they fare against the parts that are included in the STL repository. So did you solve the issue with the VZ? No, I haven't actually done, I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to really take the printer out and do a lot more diagnostic testing. Vez thinks that I should lower the acceleration. I think that Hey, Additive Adam, thank you very much for 2 months. Hey, Raheem. Raheem is actually the one that built the Enderwire, did some of the testing and feedback for the Enderwire Cyborg beta, and is the one that recommended these upgrades. So I printed out all of them, the ones that you recommended, and we will see which ones we're going to swap out. But the game plan is to probably use the upgrades that you recommended. So yeah, I haven't done much more troubleshooting. Vez thinks that I should probably lower acceleration down to the input shaper recommendation, which I think for mine is around 10K Excel. So I'm going to try dropping them back down. This is a part I printed for this particular build, and I don't see any of those artifacts. Oh, a little bit, I guess. There's some artifacting, but compared to what we were seeing, it's much less substantial. I need to run, there needs to be PA tuning because this is with a majorly beefed up acceleration and speeds. So there is PA tuning values applied to this, but definitely far from accurate PA tuning values. But a lot of that weird artifacting that was aggressive in the, again, you can see the rounded edges because of the PA value, but a lot of the aggressive artifacting isn't showing up in this piece. Again, the corners all have issues, which is just pressure advance. So it's weird. I'm very still confused as to what the cause is. Steve is having the exact same issues with his, so I don't know. It's a weird one. So the other things I've done since last week is I wiped off all of the extrusions. There was a bunch of this machinist oil on it because we had to tap a few of the ends of the 4040 extrusion. So I wiped it down with isopropyl alcohol. I also, the stock feet that come on the ender are just adhered with some like double-sided adhesive, so they left a bunch of residue. So I used some Goo Gone, wiped that down. So that's all I've done, cleaned up the rails and printed out a few parts. I don't think I linked these, I didn't, in the description. These are just random parts that I found on printables. This one is for the 4040 extrusion, the Y-axis. It holds both of the rails in place, centers them, and then there's a little gap here for the Y belt. And then I just printed out also some standard, these are just 2020 MGN12 spacers or alignment jigs to sort of align that. So, hey Benny, hey Sam. Got a fever? Oh no, sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better. So yeah, we got that. And then the last thing before we get, oh, 2 more things, sorry. I guess I did do a fair bit of sort of legwork on things. So the game plan is to use the Manta E3 EZ. However, I was walking around my room and happened to look down and see this. So this is from the LDO V0.1 kit that I built maybe 2 years ago now. Time is a bit of a blur. And I upgraded it, or swapped it out at least, from this and a Pi to the, why can't I think? FISEC, the FISEC Crucible, that sounds right. So I pulled this is the SKR V2. So we do have this that we can use if we want to. So we'll probably try the E3, the words. Let me pull the board out so I can just read it instead of trying to remember. We'll probably try this guy because I've got some CM4 modules and it has a smaller footprint, but, well, it doesn't have a smaller footprint than this, but it has a smaller footprint than needing to have a Raspberry Pi next to it. So we'll probably try this, and if we run into issues or whatever, then I've got this as a backup at least, and Raspberry Pis that can power it. So I did find that. Yeah, E3 Easy. It's like the easiest board to remember, yet here I am just fumbling it. I do have a Kraken board on the way, so I will do a video. I don't know what the heck I'm going to install it into because it's overkill for all the printer builds really that I've done. But I will do a feature video on it, just kind of showing it off and sort of the specs and features of it because it's a crazy board. Could it be the pulleys or the belts? It could be anything, honestly, nice. I really don't know. The weird thing is that, so because I wish Steve didn't have the issue, because if Steve didn't have the issue, I would chalk it up to I did something wrong with the assembly or alignment. The fact that Steve's having the issue as well makes me a bit more puzzled as to what could be causing the issues on the VZBot. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't know right now what the cause is. What is the printer in the background? This, I'm assuming that's P1S bamboo, and this is the second cube, although it's been stripped down. The X carriage has basically been pulled because I plan on installing one of these guys into it. The Revo Roto. So much more compact and lighter weight than the BMG clone and Volcano clone that it came with. So I need to come up with a mounting solution. I'm probably going to swap out the X carriage block is carbon fiber, which makes it difficult to work with. Like, there's only so many mounting holes on it. So I'm probably going to replace that with an ABS carriage. So yeah, I just need to model up something for this. And I've started on it like 3 times and gotten sort of frustrated. So it might be a little bit, but swap the Kraken into the VZ and see if the artifacts go away. Oh, we could, Phil, but that's like last resort of what I'd really want to do. Kraken would be cool to see, put it near 2.4. We'll see. I'll play around with it and figure it out. It's overkill for pretty much everything shy of the Voron Phoenix. Yeah, I think it's like a great board for something like the Voron Phoenix. I heard the V3 and thought you meant the Rep Rat. No, sorry, Sem. Hey, Monkey Butler. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Mark. Happy New Year. Is it the camera or did you break your neon lights? It's the camera. It's the camera. I think that what it is, let's see. It's the reflection. So I move this. There's a big studio light that takes up a ton of space, and so I move this around a fair bit. So you're probably seeing the reflection. There we go. Depending on what I'm recording, sometimes it makes me look too white or it blows out whatever the thing is I'm playing around with, so I moved it. Hey, dude, man. Hey, Liz. Happy Wednesday. Happy 2024. Craziness. Oh, last thing I wanted to point out, I promise, pinky promise, this is the last thing. So these are the motors that I pulled off of the Ender 3 V2. We didn't have the extruder motor because I had swapped it out to an NG a long time ago. And these are labeled as Creality 4234s. Let me see if I can focus on them. So these are pretty small motors, and although they're fine for most things, they're not ideal for the Y-axis, especially on a bed slinger, especially if you are planning on printing things that are going to take up a lot of that volume, the added weight. They're not that great. On top of that, these are the ones where Creality basically has either used some form of adhesive or pressure fit these onto the shaft of the motor. So there's no flat spot. So removing them is a pain. I have a tool that basically grips and pushes the post that we can pull it off with and then sort of file it down, but that sounds like a huge pain. I don't know. I see Andrew, thank you very much for the $10 donation. Happy New Year. I don't know why nothing popped up on screen unless there's a serious delay. Let me see. Let me try to refresh the alert box and see if that does it. Oh, there it is. I just rip. As soon as I clicked it, it popped up. 1 second. I can redo that. Let's see. Here we go. Refresh.
Happy New Year.
There we go. I guess it was just a little bit slow. Thank you very much, Andrew. Happy New Year. Hey, Skydown. Hey, Zombie. So, yes. So we've got these. These are totally an option if you end up doing this conversion and you have... nice. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, man. It's your birthday. Cheers. Thank you. That's why I go with the 4240. Yeah, so they've got, I believe it's the extruder motor that's the 4240, which is the one I don't have. So if you have these, you could use them. I went into the garage to look in sort of my parts pile from the motor or the printers that have sort of gotten torn down. And I found this one, which is probably the size of the 4240. I'm assuming that's based off of the body size. So let me grab my calipers and do a little measurement. Hey, Redacted. Hey, Rise. Good morning. Let's see. So this is, yeah. So this is 41.54 millimeters tall. I'm assuming this is 32. That's what those values represent. So not, oh, yeah, I'm grabbing the post. So exactly. So this is 32 mil. So this is what the extruder motor then would look like. Yep, 40 millimeters tall. So this is a better option. I would definitely recommend using this for the Y. I also happened to find this beefy boy in the garage. So this is a 4240. I'm assuming this is a 4248, maybe. Let's see, 4247. So we can use either of these. I'm gonna start with seeing if just like how this fits the 4240. Alan, thank you very much for the 5 Get the memberships, man. Cheers. DJ Horn. I don't know if you saw it, but I believe I messaged you yesterday or the day before on Patreon to get your info so I can send you some stickers. So if you didn't see that, maybe you replied, I didn't see it, but if you didn't see that, message me confirming your address and I'll get some stickers in the mail for you. Yeah, so we're either gonna go with the 4240 or the other one that's the 42, 46, 47, 48, whatever. I just need to make sure which one fits, but I think having the beefiest motor possible that will fit for Y is probably the best option. Best stream this year, you are missing a heat sink. I know. I looked around for it too, Zombie. I'm sure I've got spares somewhere, but I did look around for it. Thank you very much. Bigger equals better. Yes, in this case, I think for the Y, it's a stationary motor, and I would rather have more power than less power in this case. So we'll see what works. Okay, let's actually do something before I get distracted. I think 40 millimeters is the max without the mod. Okay, that makes sense. I just ordered a 20. Oh, nice. Just AliExpress, Zombie, or through Big Tree Tech? Hey, Buddha. So things I did not do was do the heat inserts. However, if we have to do heat inserts today, I'll just do it on the parts that we need, so you won't have to watch me install an absolute ridiculous amount of inserts. We did this last week, so we tapped the extrusions. So the thing I realized after is that it looks like we actually want the frame together. So the first thing we're gonna do is reassemble a couple parts that we took apart. So we'll need the 4040s, two 2040s, and a 2020 on top. So let's take out all of these extrusions and put them back together. So there should be four of these 4040s. There should be two 2040s, and then we're not using, so the only extrusion we're not using is this one, which is the X extrusion, because the kit comes with a different one. I believe it's just a different size. So I think the instructions said you can cut down the stock one if you want to, but they do include the correct size 2020, so you're not having to chop down aluminum, which is nice. I did get for my birthday a couple months ago, I got the Diablo metal cutting blade for the miter saw, so I just need to take this out there and stop being a chicken and cut it. But I don't know, I didn't grow up with tools, and I just got the miter saw, well, it's been a year. It's been a year. I got it for wood, so the cutting metal with it still scares me, but I'm gonna go out and I'll do it, and we'll I'll let you know how it goes. What about linked you the motor mount for the bigger Y motor in the Ender conversion chat? Okay, sweet. I think I printed it, actually. I don't know what it looks like. Maybe it's this guy? Is this the bigger motor mount? I think it might be. I've got links to all of the mods that I printed for this, so as we actually go to install those pieces, I'll either have them in the description or I'll link them in chat, or I'll figure out something. Have you seen the new King Room KP3S Pro V2? Considering getting it. Is that the one that's all linear rails and I'm running Clipper? If so, then yes, I think I have seen it, but it's been a long time. Okay, so we're gonna start off with just using the stock hardware. I think that's what we're supposed to do. The instructions, I looked at it briefly earlier, and it's quite vague. That's maybe an understatement. It's very vague, but it looks like for now we're using the stock hardware. So let's get this back together, at least partially. I got a little carried away with taking it apart last stream, so let's see. Got my drivers. Cutting aluminum on the miter saw is easy, just cut slow. Yeah, everyone's told me that it's a piece of cake, so I don't doubt that. Okay, so if we're using this extrusion, it looks like this will be the center beam, and this looks like it's just an open slot. I think this is for wires to be fed through, actually. For most of the frame build, yes, use stock hardware. It'll start adding printing bits on. Yeah, I know that we'll have to sort of take things apart again shortly here. So let's start with this, and then this looks like it's going to probably be I'm gonna try to rebuild it first. Like, let's sort of Lego this. Okay, so this looks like it would be what goes here. No. Hold on. Okay, these definitely are the end ones. The thing I don't know is if it matters these holes here. So this should be like that. This looks right to me. Because when you're building this, the bolts are going from the outside, so you need the big openings for the socket heads. These are for the socket heads, so these have to be going like that. I don't know though whether it needs to go like this and or like that. I don't know if that's going to matter. Let's flip this over and see what the bottom looks like. Yes. Okay, so this is from the bottom. What are okay? These are the power supply. That's right. This is right because these are for right. I'm pretty sure these are for where the power supply was mounted at. Is there CAD for it? That's a great question, Zombie. And also the next question is how detailed is the CAD? These are all STLs. STLs CAD. There we go. It's a RAR file. I don't know if I even have a RAR extractor. We'll see. Extract all. I do. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Extract here. Okay, where's the... What happened? Extract files. Okay, sure. There we go. Okay, so we've got a step file. I don't know what I even have on here as far as... Do I have a CAD software on here? I don't use this computer for any sort of CAD stuff. So let's see, do I have Shaper? I do have Shaper 3D. So again, I'm sure it's gonna ask me to log in. Finish updating. Let's just open. I don't care about updating. Spent many hours looking at it. Mainboard housing was mounted on the... Oh, that's what it is. It's the mainboard housing. So we probably won't need it. We probably... I mean, those holes probably won't matter then. Get started. It's going to ask me to log in. No, it's not. Sick. So let's now try to open that file. Really? I can't just... Why is it glitching? What's going on? Okay, it looks like it's working. Does this kit have the enclosure panels? It does. Yep, it does have it. Fusion or Onshape? I definitely don't have Fusion. We could use Onshape if we need to. Let's see how long this takes. Yeah, I forgot we could use Onshape as well. I don't think it's gonna matter as far as those mounting holes go, but if it does matter, this looks like it makes... I think this is the correct way. Let me show you guys. So both of these are on the same side. That makes the most sense. I believe this is actually where the power supply was mounted. If I remember, I removed 2 screws here. So I'm quite confident that we can continue on like this. So let me flip these. Yeah, let me flip you like this, you like this, and you like that. Now I'm not entirely. Let's see if I flip both of these, so that way it's on the back side. That actually seems correct. I think I'm overthinking it. Yeah, let's go with this. So as far as I believe, all these bolts are the exact same size except for 4 of them, which are for the top extrusion. That's just the 2020. So let's verify that. All the same, all the same, all the same. It's taking its sweet while to process that step file. Yeah, these are all the same. And then these are bed screws. I don't know if I'm missing one. Hopefully we don't need to reuse the bed screws. All right, so let's just do it. Let's start. How was everybody's New Year? I actually converted my top 2020 to a blind joint. Oh, nice. I just got an ad. It's on the same settings as last time, which is the absolute lowest setting. So any ads that show up, there is nothing I can do about it at this point. I changed the settings from balanced ads to whatever is below that. I just got an ad too. Weird. Hey, what's up, Pinpox? Another rotation around the sun, I know. How much expensive does it get to convert the Nether to Switchwire? What remains of the stock printer? The things that remain are the extrusions, optionally the main board, the power supply, the extruder motor. You use the extruder motor for the y-axis, and the, what else? Is that it? I feel like I'm missing one last thing. Cyborg kit is a lot less than 450. I just looked, we looked just the other day. It was like 350 for the, it was like 350 for if you wanted printed parts, and if you didn't want printed parts, I want to say it was in the 200s. The bed. If I didn't say the bed, yes, the bed. You reuse the PCB heater. You don't reuse the glass. It comes with a magnetic sheet and a magnetic flex plate. Okay, so I was wrong. I was wrong. You're closer to right than I was. It's $359 for the base kit, $465. Huh. I thought it was a little less than that. Yeah, so it looks like $359 if you're gonna print the parts out yourself, which if you have the ability to, it's like kind of part of, I feel like part of it is printing the parts out yourself, but they give you the option to get the printed parts if you don't have the ability to. The only downside to that, though, is if you want to do mods, you won't be able to. You'll have to build it stock, print out mods, and then tear it apart a little bit and use those mods to assemble it. So yeah, without printed parts, $359, and with printed parts, $465. Although I will say that based on the amount of printed parts that this kit took, that feels like a pretty good deal to me. There was, I mean, granted, part of it was the K1 Max just screwing up, but I'm probably, I would say at least 2 kilograms worth of material into this, primarily with the main color. The accent pieces, there's not really a whole lot that you're printing, but yeah, the main color had a fair bit of parts. So the game plan for today is to get the frame back together, to clean the linear rails, and get the Z and Y rails mounted. That's our goal. If we can do more than that, fantastic, but We'll see. Does 2.4 have a lot of parts in the XY axis? Does the 2.4 have a lot of parts in the XY axis? Sort of. I guess that's a tough question to answer because someone might be like, yeah, it's not a lot of printed parts, while another person might think, oh, that's a ton. So I wouldn't say it's excessive. This kit has a lot of printed parts, and it's primarily because you're extending the frame in some cases. So like you have your skirts, right? But then you also have a bunch of pieces like this that are frame extension pieces. And I'm not exactly sure if I needed to print these with the standard Voron settings, but I did. So they're all 40% solid and like 5 walls or whatever. Like I have my profile, so I haven't had to check it in a while, but these add up really quickly. Printing things like this and the long extension pieces. So yeah, there's just definitely a lot more, definitely a lot more printed parts or volume of grams of material used than the other builds I've done. Enderwire is a fun project, not a great printer. If it performs like my Switchwire, then I'm super excited because I love my Switchwire. I get that Core XY printers are faster or that you can at least push them faster, and there's a lot of more, especially if we're talking from a purely, you know, mechanical standpoint or, yeah, purely mechanical standpoint. But I really enjoy the Switchwire. It just performed really well for me. Okay, so these are all loosely tightened. Let me make sure that this looks square. It does. It's funny that, I guess these aren't blind joints, but the, although I think I do need to take some of this off in a little bit, new blind joints. Steve recommended putting a washer or spacer on the screws that connect the extrusions because it helps keep them from twisting when you're clamping them down, which was an issue I ran into, I think on the 2.4 build was the worst out of the ones I've built. And all of these, although they're not blind joints, they also have a sort of compression washer on them. And it does, I'm sure that that's a big part of it, is to keep these extrusions from twisting. So I'm surprised prior to talking to Steve that it hasn't been more of a standard thing to use a washer on blind joints. I'm not clamping it to the table this time. Now, these are, because they're 40/40s and they're not quite as long, they're a lot easier for me to just sort of apply downward force and then also use the square. The Trident and the 2.4 with the 2020s being longer, they were twisted a lot easier on me, so having the clamp just ensured that they weren't twisting. But yeah, these being wider, shorter, and having or not being blind joints and having those little washers on them are making it where it's not necessary. Okay, that's good. They all have a washer on the stock connection as well. I just hate the concept of a bed slinger, especially companies like Prusa asking a hefty price for them. Yeah, I don't mind bed slingers. I get it, like, if the way I describe it is if someone came up to me and said, hey, you have 2 choices and there's no other variables, right? Like money's on and off, like money's no variable. It's just, hey, 2 choices, bed slinger or Core XY. I choose the Core XY. But there's a lot of other factors like cost, and granted, bed slingers ultimately end up taking up more space typically because the bed's going back and forth, but some of the Core XY printers, especially because a lot of them are enclosed, sometimes the enclosure isn't the most space efficient, and so it's a big box that can take up a lot of space. Also, the freaking Core XY printers are heavy. Like, not saying bed slingers can't get heavy, but having to move around the Trident or the 2.4 or, man, the VZBot compared to just picking up a bed slinger and moving it, like there's certain things like that. And I get that that's a small thing. Printers aren't necessarily meant to be moved around all the time anyway, but they definitely have their place. But yeah, I absolutely can understand the sort of, especially when we're talking about if prices are comparable, I'm going to go with a Core XY, hands down. Yeah, I couldn't imagine Zombie adding the extra 50 millimeters. Because the bed is one of the heavier parts, but then you're also adding the extrusion, and your tap changer has got to be pretty freaking heavy when it's all done, considering electronics and the tool heads and the motors, and just, it's a lot of printer. Bed slingers are not space efficient. No, they're not. Because of the bed. The bed whipping forward and backwards. G-code came from CNC milling machines. Bed slingers can work good. It's going to have two additional top hats. Wait, why 2 additional top hats? Okay, so we have got this on. The next thing we need to install is this guy, which is going to go, let's see, let me look at this. If this is where the back was, because that's where the power supply was, and oops, I imagine it needs to stick farther out, farther forward. Okay, so we'll just do this right now. So in this case, we're going to be using 2 of the stock screws and 2 shorter screws because we're shifting this whole extrusion further forward. So if this, yeah, so if this is here. Okay, so this is that top extrusion. And we want to, instead of having it perfectly aligned with this guy, we want to slide it so it's farther forward, is what it looks like. 20 millimeters towards the front. Great. Yeah. Okay, and so we need to drop in, we'll do the T-nuts after, so let's get the two standard ones in. 30 millimeters is too long if I recall. For this screw, okay, we'll see. Let's start off with the ones that we know work, which are the, I'm just gonna loosely tighten this too for now. I'm not gonna fully seat it. Yeah, 1 whole set forward. Okay, so these are just very lightly in because I want to get all 4 in to sort of help, because there's still play in this. Once I get the other 2 in, it should help keep this from twisting. So we need M5 M5 nuts, which should be in here. We've got hammerheads and we've got these guys, so we don't want, we're gonna go with you. And then we'll try the M530s to see, just because that's what the instructions call for. If they end up being too long, we can go with, we'll have to figure out something else. There's M520s, there's no 25s, and I feel like 20s are probably too short. So let's see, these are, no, these are 20s, these are 30s. I might have 25s somewhere. Let's see what this looks like if I drop them in. Rebuilding the blue V0, nice. What are you doing any changes to it, BBs, or just sort of printing new parts, or? No, that works. It doesn't look like it bottomed out. No, there's a gap. That works fine. Okay, so let me dump this out. All right, dropped one of them. Ugh. The year of the Butterfinger. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. Nope, that's the opposite of what I wanted. There we go. So we will drop this in. Huh, those are a lot looser. Is there not a ball? There's a ball. Huh. It's kind of sucky. I don't know. Does this conversion also work with the Ender 3 V2 Neo? I don't know, and I'm gonna say I don't think so. 1 second, let me line this up. The ones that the kit says it works with is an Ender 3 V2 and an Ender 3 Pro. Standard Ender 3 won't work with this kit, right? I don't believe so. I think that it's going to be one of the extrusions that's slightly different. You might be able, if you're cool with sourcing the extrusion that you'll need, but then you'd have to tap it. So I'm gonna go with no. Let's go with no. It won't work with the standard one. I almost wish I had a shim or a spacer for this guy as well, but yeah, so that works. The these don't bottom out, so the M530s are fine. Let's tighten this guy and tighten this guy. You know what? It won't matter actually now that I think about it, but because of the washer, this sticks out a little bit, which will be fine once we've got feet on this thing, but for now it's going to be a little annoying having this being sort of the pivot point. I wonder if we should remove... If we remove the springs that I was just talking positive things about, then it probably will fit. Hey, what's up, Tor? It's the Y-axis, gotcha. I'm gonna try one without and just see. I don't know if I'll be able to get this off, actually. Yeah, this is pretty damn well stuck. Let me see if it's just this one or if they're all like that. Yeah, this isn't coming off. Okay, we're gonna leave it on. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah, it's not coming off. Just putting things on the P1S and working. Hope the stream is going well. Nice. And you printing anything fun? So far, stream's going good. Just undoing what I did last week. Okay, so these are loose. These are loose. These are loose. It's really more the pivot that we want to get right. It looks like it needs to twist a hair bit more. Sorry, I realize my head's like entirely in the way. Let me go this side. Basically just using the square to make sure there's a 90 between the center post and this post right here, because there's still some wiggle until I tighten it. It's looking pretty dang good now. Hey, short to ground. Poop bucket waiting on my filament to come in from work so I can do... Ooh, nice. Did you just get the P1S tour? Hey, Nuno. Need to print all my Mercury 1 parts in multicolor. Nice. Yeah, I used the X1 carbon to do the skirts in multicolor. It's an awesome printer, man. I love my P1S. Didn't notice any gray hairs on the top of the headshot. Thank God. It's because I've got blonde hair, so it doesn't show. I don't think as much. The beard's where all the grays are coming in, man. Every time Erin finds one, she says, "That's for me," and I said, "Mm-hmm." Okay, let's tighten this down. Hey, Jack Black. I don't know if I said hi earlier. Hey, Northern Custom, how's it going? Happy New Year. How's baby's first Christmas? It was really good. It went really well. It was Aaron, me, and Jackson, and I'm starting to discover. Keep torquing this a little bit. Starting to discover that babies have a lot more in common with cats than I realized. There's just like some of the crazy sounds he makes. For Christmas, like, you know, he got all these toys from Grandma and Grandpa and Uncle, and what did he want to do? He just wanted to play with the boxes that they came in. I'm like, wow, I guess I don't need a cat. I've got the next closest thing. So, but yeah, it was really well. Thank you. It was a nice time. Aaron was sick and still like, getting over it. But all things considered, what has got? Oh, duh. I was like, why did that have play? It's because of the stupid screws. So, all things considered, it was still a great Christmas. So, what's your plans this year on live streams? There are a lot of question marks, but the current builds I am entertaining are this build, ERCF V2, Pandora's Box, K3, Positron, the Milo CNC, and that's what I've got right now. So, will all those happen? I don't know, but I feel like with the speed that I build things, that's probably my year. Yeah, so we'll see. TreadRack is a lot simpler than ERCF. Yeah, TreadRack I know is now officially in open beta, which is cool because it was in closed beta before, I believe, but I don't want to mess around with it until it's out of beta. I'm just not a huge... Oh, and the Ender NG is also... the developer of the Ender NG reached out and let me know like the changes and stuff that are being worked on, and I would like to build that. I have another Ender. It's an Ender 3 V2, and it has the Micro Swiss NG Revo and a Wham Bam flex plate on it, but I would like to convert that into a Core XY. I think it'd be fun. Some people appreciate the Ender 3 build. Some are like, why? But for me, like, a lot of the things don't necessarily have to make sense. You can do things just because it's fun. So I think I like the idea of taking something that's, you know, an older design and revising it, even if it doesn't make the most financial sense always, or, you know, whatever else. So, hey Jerry, I'm interested in the NG. Yeah, NG looks awesome. Hey Jose, I don't think I said hi. K3 is amazing. It's my main printer. Yeah, it's been on my list for quite a long time. Fabrico had said that they were going to sponsor a build, so I'm hoping that's the case. Once we get settled in, we're getting our keys in 27 days, and then we'll start the moving process. So I'm hoping that once we're settled into the new place, we'll be able to do that build. I think it'll be an awesome one. Okay, so let's now do our long extrusions. For these, I also don't know if it matters the direction of the hole. So I'm thinking, if this is front of printer, right, longer side facing towards front, then on the normal Ender 3, you've got the two holes for the power supply, which would be this, like this. So okay, let's keep them with the same exact layout. Rook builds, nah, I don't know that I want to do a rook build. I think that if I'm going to do a printed build, I'm going to do the 100 build. Possibly, so we'll see. I'm not totally against doing the rook build. The 100 build sort of caught my attention a little bit more though. Did you see picture videos of my 7? I did. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, I did see the I did see your xenomorph. Was it fully done? I think the photo I saw, the face was still... Wait, this is a smaller bolt, isn't it? I think the face was still needing to be finished on the one I saw. Hey, John. Happy New Year, buddy. Okay, let's tighten this up. I'll leave it a little bit loose so I can take my square. still a little bit of play. Loosen it here. There we go. I don't know. I'm actually not going to tighten that one yet. Let me get the other one partially on first. This one has the holes. Let's see. Okay, so this one has the holes for the Z motor. Normally, that's where it would be. And they would be, I don't know if it matters which direction. It looks the same to me. Yeah, it looks like they tapped it all the way through, so I don't think it matters. Let's flip this. Everyone who builds printers needs to build a Rook. Has there been much more, is there still progress going on Rook as far as like community development, stuff like that? I haven't really seen a whole lot on it in a while. This is a really awkward angle. Didn't drink much for New Year's. After today's work, I'm like, oh no. We had got some Maker's Mark whiskey, and we were gonna have a glass of that, but as it was getting closer, I was like, I don't mind like for celebrations or occasionally me and my dad for like usually celebrations or something, we'll have a glass of whiskey or scotch, but I didn't really feel like having a glass of whiskey for New Year's, so we went out and got maraschino cherries, an orange, a couple different types of bitters, like orange bitters and another bitter, and then I made simple syrup and made old fashions. Yeah, it's definitely looks fiddly. Twist. Yeah. It's. I'm just putting in loosely everything, but that we're absolutely going to need to square up the Z. It's very fiddly. Move you guys out a little bit. Yeah, I love old fashions. Usually if we're going out and I'm having a drink and it's not a beer, it's typically an old fashioned. I like the little bit of sweet, a little bit of citrus. The cherry is so good if it's a true maraschino cherry and not... When I worked at a bar 8 years ago, that's how Aaron and I actually met, or started dating at least. And when we made old fashions, we had like, we didn't have the real cherries. We had what was essentially like an ice cream sundae cherry. This is not the same thing at all. Hey CS. Rolahan has been focused on the Panda, and Canrog has been heading the Rook Scalable. What is that? The Rook Scalable. Wait, what's that? About what? It's simple. It's a simpler story. Technically, we had a class together in high school, but we didn't talk. So I have 5 Ender 3s in a box. Should I do this mod? Yes. I'm late. What have I missed? Not much. We're undoing some of the work we did last week. Turns out we need to use a lot of the frame as is. Yeah, a lot of the frame gets reused with the stock hardware, which that's what... So I knew we were going to be using... Damn, stinking head, man. I knew we were going to be using the frame, but I didn't realize that we were going to be using it with the stock hardware. Nappin, thanks for becoming a member. I feel like you were a member previously, but I don't know. If not, if so, welcome, or welcome back. He's working on a design to make the Rook. Oh, a more scalable printer. Gotcha. Yeah, I know that Rolahan has like a bunch of printer projects, and so I sort of decided to wait and see kind of how things develop across the lineup. I don't like the way that it is. Okay, so this extrusion needs to go way forward. Ooh, also other exciting news, because, and he'll see it because he watches all my streams, today's my dad's last day of work. He retires today. So can we get a happy retirement, Papa Dale, in the chat, please? That'd be awesome. He'll watch this in the next week. He watches all the streams after the fact. Yeah, super excited. They purchased a house out here, so they'll be out here half the year, and I'm just really excited to spend some more time with my mom and dad and have them around baby Jack as he's growing up and stuff. So, but yeah, today's his final day. It's crazy. Okay, so this side is tightened, not very, I'm gonna clamp it down a bit more, but it's at least tight enough where I feel like I should flip this around and start taking a look at this side to make sure that we're nice and even on both sides. Been retired here for 10 years now. Nice. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he's been talking about it for years, and it's just crazy. Like today's the actual day that he's doing it. He's retiring. Oh, it's actually really straight on this side. Huh. That's impressive. Hang base over edge. You think because of the screws? Or... it's really awkward if you try to hang it over the edge. I will hang it over the edge for you, but I don't know. Let's see. Those screws are still going to be pushing up. I don't know that that's actually better. Okay, maybe right there. Because it does pivot. It stops pivoting right here. So let me loosen this a hair. Yeah, I'm tightening it. We'll do the same for the other side. So it does, yeah, that is something to consider. I guess when you have it on its side, it doesn't stand out like the bottom, but these screw heads do stick out a little bit. I can ask for retirement in 2048. I don't know if I'll ever fully retire. I don't know what I would do if I ever just was like, I'm gonna stop working or making videos or building things. Okay, there we go. Oh, that shit is awkward. There we go. Very awkward. I'm rebuilding my pre-show yesterday and today. What are you rebuilding on it? Like, what's the reason for it? Okay. What do you mean lay gantry flat on table? Oh, you mean like this? Like hanging it off the end like this? That's a good idea for the top. I will actually do that for the top. Or that is, I guess that was, right, the top. So let's... I'll do it like this. Hey, John! Okay, so these are still loose, 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 and loose, which is what we want. still doesn't feel right. I'm gonna do one more thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. One second. I'm gonna loosen these bottom ones one last time. Let's see. Man of the Croc, thank you for the $5 donation. We'll do a air horn for that. Let's see. Foot squaring corner, adjuster rack. If you were to build a Voron 0.2 today, what hot end would you use? Ooh,
If you were to build Voron 0.2 today, what
sort of tricky question. It depends, like, what's your goal with it? Are you trying to make it into like a crazy speed demon printer, or just sort of all around? So I really like the Dragon hot end on the V0. It's what my original one is. It's what my original. Let me move this out of the way. My original V0 is rocking a Dragon high flow, and it's been great. I've never maxed out the flow on it while printing. So I like the Dragon high flow a lot. But if you have other printers and you're already rocking like Revo, then I like Revo as well. I like the Revo as well, especially, it's one thing, if you're rocking it on your other printers, then it's a nice option to have. But it depends, again, if you don't have it. All around that does ASA well. Yeah, honestly, like a Revo would be fine, a Dragon high flow would be fine. If you're looking for budget, like if you're trying to be, keep a budget in mind, honestly, a Dragonfly works pretty well, and you can throw a CHT nozzle in it, and you probably won't max it out. You might, but you probably won't, especially with that small footprint. It's not really going to be able to get up to speed too much. So yeah, I'll do the top. I'll do the top once we start tightening down the top. Yeah, those are probably my three, like for standard sized hot ends, those are probably my three favorite right now. Is Dragonfly for budget, Revo for sort of convenience, and if you have the ecosystem, it's a really nice ecosystem, and some variant of the, I'm sorry, I said Dragonfly. Yeah, Dragonfly budget, Dragon for sort of like some variant of Dragon high flow, Dragon ultra high flow, and then Revo. Those are sort of my main recommendations. I have not. So that's the reason why I know a lot of people absolutely love the Rapido. I have never used a Rapido, so I can't recommend it. Well, I can, because enough people I know have used it and swear by it, but I don't recommend it typically just because it's not one I've had experience with. I was debating on if I do end up building the 100, if I do end up building the 100, they have like a performance one. They recommend the Rapido for that, and so I was planning on doing that, but yeah, I don't have experience with it. Yeah, I'm running the Dragonfly, so I'm running the Dragonfly in the LDO V0. I've been running that for probably 2 years. I'm running a Dragonfly in the V-Minion, and I'm running a Dragonfly in the Switchwire, and it's been great. Is it the fastest, like highest flow hot end ever? No, it's not. But again, I don't, like for just all around sort of works well, reliable performance, it's solid. It's a really good hot end. I can definitely recommend it. The Dragonfly is very nice, lowish flow hot end. Yeah, with a CHT nozzle, you can hit low. yeah, it's definitely not a high flow hot end, so it just depends on what you're trying to do. But for my V0 and the way I print with it with standard profiles, the Switchwire, the only one that probably could use an upgrade would be the V Minion. I feel like I'm sort of choking it a bit by having a Dragonfly. But aside from that, I'm a big fan. Okay, tightening down these last bolts and then we should be good to move on. We're going to have to loosen some bolts in a second here, which is going to be a little annoying after doing this, but this will at least get us back to where we were, and we've moved our Y extrusion forward. I'm working on a 100% custom quickside machine fusion right now. Should I go with a linear rods or V? I don't like V wheels. I get it, they work. I'm not saying they're the worst thing ever, but given the option, I'm going with anything but V wheels. I'd rather have linear rods, linear extrusions, linear guides, anything else. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of V wheels. Okay. Hey PF! Happy first Wednesday of the year. We got our front and back wobble and those bolts. Little final tightening. These feel pretty good. Once I get all my projects, so never, I'm going to try to build an old school wrap printer. Nice. The reason why I laugh is it's way too relatable. What's for dinner? Pizza? No. So Monday was Aaron and my 8-year anniversary. So not wedding anniversary. We've been married 2 years in April, but dating New Year's Day is our anniversary from before being married. And so Monday was our 8-year, and tonight we are going to a Italian restaurant. So I am super excited. So once we get done here, then we're gonna head out and go get some Italian. So no pineapple on pizza. Funny you say that. That's what I had for dinner last night, was pineapple pizza, but it was just freezer pizza. Bringing the kid? Yeah, we have to. He's pretty good though. Generally speaking, he's pretty dang good. So as long as he's got milk, he just sort of looks around and smiles at everybody. So we don't really mind bringing him out. We've always kind of brought him everywhere. So. No pineapple pizza. Hi, Jose. Hi, Jose. How's marriage treating you? Did you just get married, Jose? Congrats on putting up with each other for 8 years. Thank you. It's more her putting up with me, to be perfectly honest with you. Still waiting for you to try banana pizza. Make sure to try focaccia. I don't know how you say that. Awesome stuff, in my opinion. I'll spell it for the server. Okay, here we go. So we've done that. We are back to square one. We have done the sliding forward. We've done this. Okay, so now it's saying we need to take apart this side. So one of the sides that we just put on beautifully, we gotta take off. So there's gonna be 6 screws coming out of it. And it looks like, based off this top-down view, so if this is the back of the printer, right? Am I right that yes. So if this is the back of the printer, let's turn the printer to face the same way, then it's going to be the left side that we are removing the extrusion from. So, perfect. Let's undo what we just did. Hey, PT, thank you for becoming a member. Focaccia bread? Is it focaccia? Is that how you say it? I'm gonna say it kind of Italian. Focaccia. Is it focaccia bread? I've been married for 20 years now. It was my daughter. Oh, okay, gotcha. I was gonna say, I was like, I didn't know you didn't say anything about that. Well, congratulations on your expanding family. 24 to 70 millimeter lens. That sounds exactly right. It is a 17 to 70 millimeter Tamron lens. with a f-stop f2.8 is as fine as it gets. I love it. I've been a prime lens guy for like the last 5 or 6 years. I rock. So this guy right here in front is the Sigma. This is the Sigma 55. It's their widest angle lens. But I have the Sigma Trio. So I've got the Sigma 56 mil, and I've got the Sigma 30 mil. These are the primary ones I was using prior to getting the Tamron. Now these just collect dust primarily, but I love them, so I can't get rid of them. And then this is the widest, which might be the Sigma, maybe it's a 70 millimeter ultra wide angle lens. Hey, Mechanical Fluff, thank you very much for the $5. I'm building my 2.4 now. Oh my god, the Da Vinci days. Still have the beast with a V6 on the floor. Never forget the stupid filament count chips. That is hilarious. What a trip down memory lane. Well, glad that you stuck with it, and thank you very much for the donation. Welcome. Is 48 volt worth it? I can't answer that question. I've only ran 48 volts so far on the VZBot, and it's still sort of too new. I've done a lot of printing on the VZ at this point. I really have, even with the stuff that's going on artifacting, and I still can't say. It depends. Are you going for absolute sheer craziness speed and pushing things to its limits? Then sure. If you're not, then I don't know. I have a 35, yeah, 1.8. Yep. They have really shallow depth of field, like really beautiful bokeh effect. Did you say 14 to 70? I said 17 to 70. Yeah, it's a Tamron lens. I think it was about 600 US roughly. My wallet rejoiced when I learned about Tamron lenses. Yeah, Tamrons, I mean, they're still not cheap, but compared to like going with an actual Sony lens, it's a lot better, and not better, but like price-wise. And like I said, performance has been great. One of my coworkers, Joe, bought this exact lens, and I was like, I don't know, man, zoom lenses, thicker glass, all that. Yeah, no, I don't need it. But then I got it, and when I've been recording B-roll for YouTube, because the prime lens doesn't have any zooming, it's always like tripod, get shot, tripod, get shot, tripod, get shot, and like having to really get the tripod or like the whole camera into some crazy positions. But now that I can zoom, I can keep the camera a little bit further away from the action and just sort of zoom in on it. So yeah, I get it. Like I don't really do much, like I don't really do photography other than, you know, some printer stuff, but if I did get into photography, I could see prime lenses being awesome, especially for things like maybe portrait shooting. They're really gorgeous, like the shallow depth of field, let a lot of light in, and they're light. But yeah, for what I do, the convenience of being able to zoom in now, I'm just like, I've been really, I can't believe I waited this long. Yeah, so. Have you tried swapping motors from a 2804 to maybe the baby brother 24.5 and see if the artifacts? I have not. I know that I've talked to at least 1 or 2 other people that are running the same kit, which should be with the same motors from Mello, and they're not having the artifacting. So I'm like thinking it shouldn't be the cause, but I don't know. Bokeh. Yeah, the bokeh effect. I do more stills than video, so prime is better. Yeah, I still love my primes. I'll never get rid of the Sigma Trio. To me, is the best bang for your buck in terms of like, I love them. I really like them. Now my workflow and my spazziness and all these different environments, especially because for my day job I work for Lightburn, and so I do Lightburn's majority of their tutorial videos. And being able to have the camera a lot further away from lasers while they're running and stuff like that is a huge plus. So, okay, so this guy's dangling. Ooh, that was an awful sound. Hopefully my noise cancellation saved your ears. Oh, no, bokeh. Okay, bokeh effect. I said bouquet. I said bouquet like flowers, John. Is that what I said? I've been a professional photographer for 40 years and always use zooms, very rarely use primes. What kind of stuff do you shoot though professionally? I think it's all just situational. Like, I know that our wedding photographer had a massive zoom lens because like you just can't always be right there in the front with your prime, and being able to, like, it's a zoom lens is a lot more flexible than a prime lens. Okay, for John, bokeh for John. I'll think of John every time I say bokeh now. Anytime, if my wife says, she says portrait mode, so, but anytime I hear someone say bokeh or anything, I'm gonna freak out a little. All right, so the question we've got now is, orientation-wise, this makes it look like, so backside of printer, we removed that. So is it safe to assume that this is in the same orientation? I hope so. I hope so, because it looks to me that if it is in the same orientation, then yeah, we'll assume that it is. You tried Clipper TMC Auto Tune plugin for your VZ. I don't think I've specifically tried that. I did play around with the thing I can't remember right now the name of, but it basically like gives you a bunch of data about your belts and sort of anything mechanically going on with the printer, and I didn't see anything that looked really crazy to me, but I don't think I did one specifically for TMC auto tuning. I wonder if it's the same plugin. There are YouTube videos on how to say bokeh. Is there really, John? Modern zooms are greatly improved thanks to spheric elements and lens design software. All right, M510s. Let's see. Also, we're opening up the giveaway in just a few 15 minutes here for Polymaker Filament, our first giveaway of the year. M510s. Where are M510s? There they are. So I'm not entirely confident in this next move, but it's the, let's actually check to see if the, what the? Okay. So I want to get rid of all okay, so looking at this, the long side, did I screw up? I'm very, no. So it looks like we've got one set that's a blind. It's kind of confusing. So this makes it, okay, so there's a fastener there. So this has two fasteners, and this is facing towards the front. So it looks like the blind joint needs to be on the side closest to the front, which is what I saw a second ago. So we can, it's safe to assume orientation is correct. Where's the link for the giveaway? It does not exist yet, but it will exist, and it will be in chat. It will be pinned in chat. So let me, so we're screwing these two in, but not the whole way, because they're going to be for blind joints. We'll leave a couple millimeter gap. Bring you guys down low. Ah. There's a like button. Damn it, John. How was your New Year's, John? Okay, so that is back in. And now it's saying to slide this guy okay, so just again verifying. These are M540s. These are not, these are 44s. So it seems like at this point we're not using the stock hardware for this because it says M540. So is there M540s in this kit? There is, yes, there is. So we will swap out 2 bolts. Since foreign parts use a bunch of bridges. Wait, what? I don't know. I must have missed the beginning of that. It was good. Not like the old days of always being on a dance floor at midnight. The kids were both awake thanks to messed up sleep from everyone having a... Oh, man. What? How old are your kids, John? I don't remember if they're like younger or teen. Jack went to bed pretty early, and then there were fireworks at midnight. But the cool thing about this area is people are pretty respectful. And what is happening here? Oh, I don't have it lined up. That's what's happening. And so, yeah, Jack woke up at midnight because the fireworks were being launched, and then the fireworks stopped probably within 20 minutes, and he was able to go back to sleep. Well, in California where we lived, like, the fireworks would go on for like the week up to like the week. I mean, it was just non-stop fireworks all the freaking time. So it wasn't bad here. All right, before I tighten things down, this makes it look like, yeah, I think we're doing this right. Why is this glitching? Frustrating. No, I think we're doing it. Yes, so towards the back should be these bolts, and towards the front should be nothing. That looks correct. I wish that the instructions had a better image. So like right here, I wish that these showed you like, you know, I just wish it was a little bit more clear. I don't think it is. The non-AliExpress link does not work, and good evening. The non-AliExpress link does not work. Really? That's a bummer. I will try to fix it later. Does it take you to the Cyborg's website and just not the right page? I wonder if they changed up things. Where is the fireworks? Where is that fireworks free heaven? No, we're in Nampa, Idaho. So like, there's definitely fireworks. I mean, people were launching, but they just have much smaller windows of launching, which is really nice when you have a baby. Why are we not tightening? There we go. It says link is not currently active, link is not currently active. Weird. They must have changed something with the URL. It's on Cyborg's website. I'm trying to think if I can change it. I don't have the login. If you guys want it, Eric, give me a sec. Let me go to my other computer. You guys can hear me but not see me. Let me see if I can grab a new link from the website. And it is warm right here. I feel like the vent comes in right here. Okay, so why is this not working? There we go. Cool. Cool, I'm not a robot. Yeah, they must have changed up their website URL structure. Links, create a link, Cyborg. Bam. Okay. Get shorter link, cool. All right, it'll be updated in like 30 seconds. Switch account. It's kind of annoying. I'll have to go back. That means the last week's video broke too because I used the same link from last week's video for this week's video. Live. Edit. Find out more. Okay, search AliExpress. So you said a non-AliExpress link is not working. Okay, should be good. If somebody wants to refresh the page in like 20 seconds, let me know if the link's working. If not, then I can't do anything about it right now. All right, let me tighten this back up. awkward. Okay, those two are tight. I feel good about tightening the rest of it now. Here it is war from half December until half January. Wait, what did I miss? Watch build videos, like, where is that? Oh, war, you're saying fireworks, gotcha. Okay, brain traveled away for a second there with the link stuff. Yeah, where my parents live, it's the exact same way. And I actually liked it growing up. I mean, I like fireworks still, but I like Happy Baby more. So, yeah. Like, there was someone that came around, like there was a truck that pulled up on the backside of our neighborhood, maybe 3 hours before midnight, and there was a bunch of kids that hopped out and shot off like a rocket right behind the back of our house, and it was loud. And I thought they were gonna hang out there for like the next 3 hours, but they literally launched one thing. They saw us looking out from our backyard, they waved at us and drove off, and I was like, cool, I'm fine with that. Like, when I was a kid, that's exactly something that I would probably have done too. So, you know. All right, let's tilt this off the edge. Put all these back again. I feel like we're playing musical chairs with this printer right now, but once the frame's done, it should go pretty quick. Yeah, our dogs are pretty good, kind of. They're inside pretty much exclusively. We got house dogs. Like, they're very much so like spa dogs, like they're spoiled, but they do pretty good. But yeah, I agree. I mean, nonstop on New Year's, you always see people that are posting that your dogs got out and stuff, which is kind of interesting to me. I was just talking to Aaron about that. Like, I worked at PetSmart a decade ago, and I remember just, you know, a lot of lost animals. And the thing I don't understand is, like, every single year, right? Like, at least in the United States, you know that New Year's Eve and 4th of July, there's going to be fireworks pretty much everywhere. And like, why do people not take their dogs inside? I understand there's some scenarios where you can't, right? Like maybe, your apartment, I don't know what the exact scenario is. Maybe you live with someone that just doesn't like dogs inside, you can't do it. But generally speaking, I don't understand why people leave their dogs outside on those holidays, because their dogs, when they're scared, can leap fences and do all sorts of crazy things. I don't get why this is not, like groundbreaking. Fortunately, fireworks don't bother my kid because the house 2 doors down loves to set him off. Yeah, Jack, it's weird. Jack was so good at sleeping when he was like first born. I think it was chat. All you guys recommended, be loud all the time. So that way he's used to vacuums. You don't have to tiptoe around him when he's napping. So we did, like, TV on real loud, blenders on, all sorts of stuff, and it worked. He would sleep through everything. And now, I mean, you can't freaking creak the floor creak, and he's, I'm like, what happened? What happened, man? So, common sense is groundbreaking for some. Yeah, I just don't get it. I'm like, this is, like, we've known this. Like, every year, so many people, my dog's out. I'm like, why didn't you put him inside with you? Why didn't it blows my mind. Some people, I know they have no choice, and it's really unfortunate, but for a lot of people, I'm like, you knew this was coming. You had all year to prepare from last year. It's just odd to me. My first dog loved the fireworks, wasn't scared at all, watched it and wagging his tail. That's a cool dog. Let me get the giveaway link going before I get distracted again. For anyone that is new, we're giving away a spool of Polymaker filament anywhere in the world, which is pretty awesome. So you fill out the form, it'll be pinned in chat for 30 minutes, and then we will draw. I can't pin. Why can't I pin? Oh, wait, no, there's no pin button for me. Give me 1 second, everybody. Did I break? Is chat broken? There we go. Forms, pin message. Okay, it's officially pinned now. I don't know, that was weird. There's usually 3 little dots or like hamburger menu that I can click on to pin a message, and it did not exist there. Okay, so the question I saw was, what do you think about break firmware Bamboo Lab. There's a chance people will want to harm others or better leave it open because it is not possible like Clipper. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that was partially lost in translation or if there was a typo or what. If you want to, I don't know what that means. I feel like interpreting it, you're saying, what do you think about the jailbreak? Oh, what do you think about jailbreak firmware for Bamboo Lab? There's a chance people will want to harm others or better leave it open because it's not possible like Clipper. Maybe that's what you're asking. So regarding the open, or not, I guess it's not open source right now, but regarding the custom firmware for Bamboo Lab printers, I think that it's a cool thing, but I think that it's also going to be a fairly niche thing. There's a lot of benefits of Bamboo Lab's OEM firmware and their cloud services and all that stuff, and if they haven't already, I can guarantee they're gonna block anybody. Unless you can spoof the firmware to make Bamboo Lab servers think you're on the latest version, they're gonna require you to update to the latest version of firmware, I can almost guarantee it, to use their cloud. In most instances, I would outweigh, the cloud, being able to use it and monitor it from my phone and all that outweighs any jailbreak out there. That being said, there will still absolutely be cool features. There will also be people that are completely anti-cloud, anti the stock firmware that will only use the jailbreak, and this is a fantastic thing for them. And perhaps the community behind the firmware will release new features that people will like, and Bamboo will see that, and it'll actually incorporate it back into the OEM firmware. So there's positive and bad. There's good and bad, definitely. So, yeah. Bamboo won't open source their firmware. There's just, I don't see why they would. It's a big part of their secret sauce is their firmware, in a sense, like some of the stuff that it does. So I doubt they'd want to just open that up for everybody. Cloud equals point of failure when they abandon the product. That would be true if you had to run it on cloud, but even the stock firmware lets you run it completely local, so that doesn't really apply. But I do agree that if it's something that can only be used via cloud, then that sucks. But it's not the case with the stock firmware anyway. Not anti-cloud, but sometimes the internet is not always available. Yeah. Is the jailbreak and firmware open source? I don't know. I don't believe it is now. I haven't seen anything about posting of firmware, so. I don't want a flashlight on my X1 Carbon. Yeah, I get it. I probably will. I will probably take a look and play around with it just to see sort of what it's all about and how it works. But I mean, I went from being an Android and building my own Microsoft PC to rocking Apple phones and Mac computers. So as much as I like the ability to hack and do stuff, I heavily lean towards convenience for most things because it carries more weight to me in most instances. That being said, everyone has their own preferences. I'm not here to say anyone's right or wrong. So for some, it will be a big deal and a great thing. For others, it won't really matter at all. So, Daniel, you are too politically correct. I'm not even really trying to be. I just don't carry that much of an opinion on it. If there's something I think is legitimately wrong, I have no problem saying, no, I don't agree with that. But a lot of it is really just a matter of personal preference. So Bamboo is the Apple of 3D printing. Yeah, I tend to agree with that, and I like that. But I do like the ability to tinker, but I don't need to necessarily tinker with my Apple product or my Bamboo printer. But that's why I like building printers and Vorons and stuff, because I like having both of those things. When are we going to hear about what's included in their log files? I have no idea. That's another thing that was a big piece about log files, but I don't really care. I really don't. I'm not printing government contract stuff. I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to. It doesn't really matter to me. So it's one of those things, again, where some people really care, and that's fine. You're allowed to care, and you can be a very private person. But for me, that's just not me. Here I am streaming my life, a big part of it on the internet for everyone. So I don't know that I'm necessarily the best person when it comes to gotta be private about everything. It's just not how I've been. I've decided, it's not what I've decided upon. So it's more that I can't afford to brick my X1 Carbon. Yeah, no, I get it. Especially if under warranty, it makes 0 sense to jailbreak it. I wouldn't do it. Why? It's like being a person that's into cars. You can have your boring, just works all day driver, but my car is a Toyota Corolla. I had a super fun, souped up truck that crapped out on me that had all sorts of like mods to it with like custom intake, custom exhaust. And I went after that and bought a brand new Corolla that is completely stock. I haven't even tinted it. I think I painted the badge black. So yeah, I have JustWorks printers and I ordered a Voron 0.2. Yeah, totally. I like both. I don't necessarily need to combine both those things. The part where I somewhat care is Bamboo's patents in China for things that they very much did not invent. I haven't seen anything happen with that. I know there was a big scare about, oh, they're patenting things, but it wasn't in English, the thing that I saw, so I couldn't even interpret it. I don't know the people that were talking about it, how much credit they have, or what if they actually knew what they were seeing. And again, I haven't seen anything enforced, so I don't really know. Again, yeah, if Bamboo were to all of a sudden be like, hey, you can't make this thing, we have a patent, and it's like something that was created by Voron, like that would be a big problem, a red flag, and I would have no problem standing up against that. But so far, literally everything I've seen has been just like fear-mongering. Like that's all it's really been. So, yeah. Oh, jailbreak can easily be removed by just taking the SD card recorder Nero, so it shouldn't pose a risk to the warranty. But in that car example, the manufacturer cannot stop you from modding their cars. True. But it could definitely void your warranties. It's a subject matter that some feel really strongly about. Again, I just don't. If you want to hack your printer and you can, go for it. I mean, the way I met Chuck Hellebuck from Filament Friday was that he found my video on the DaVinci 1.0, and I show you how to basically hack the thing. You take some wires and you jump some pins on the board to put it into DFU mode, and you overwrite the stock firmware with an open source firmware. I made that video. I was so sick of the really limited firmware. I was so sick of the chipped filaments. It was awful. And so, again, I don't have anything against hacking on things. I'm just saying that I don't... This is a different scenario for me where the printer stock isn't limiting to me. I'm very happy with the stock experience, while previously I was not, and I wanted additional features. Yeah, the stock DaVinci 1.0 firmware was poo-poo. It was so bad. The slicer was awful. You had to use their slicer because they were, if I remember, it was like a wrapped G-code file of sorts. It's been so many years, like a decade. So actually can't put warranty on anything but the mod, even under US commercial protection. They can't void warranty on anything but the mod. Yeah, but that's also something that you'd have to take, like, no, who wants to fight that, right? They have to prove that your hacks mods caused the issue before they can void your warranty. I feel like though they could say your warranty is void, and then it's you against a big corporation, and I don't have the money to go to court. I don't have a lawyer on speed dial. I don't have a lawyer in the family. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, you know, I'm basically gonna tuck my tail in between my legs and walk away. Like you know, so. The CEO of Bamboo talked about patents a bit in his interview with Stefan. I watched that. I don't remember. Okay, fun stuff. So So here's part of the confusion I've got right now. So far we've swapped out one side. So we did that. We removed the screws, we put in the two blind screws, we slid this extrusion in, and we did that. But we haven't done the other side yet. However, when we go to the CAD, and the CAD crashes on you, check this out. So this is, you can see blind joints and then screws like we just did. But on this CAD, both of them are like that. We've got blind joints and we've got two bolts right there as well. So I'm thinking that we're supposed to do them probably on both sides. It looks like the whole point of having blind joints on two of them is because of the belt tensioning mechanism and these motors. So like you need them there and you need them there. So I think the instructions are missing that you need it on both sides. I think that right here, it should be having us do the exact same thing on the other side. Yeah, just do it both sides. Yeah, I agree. Exactly, our call MMC said they likely wouldn't pursue patent claims to open source projects, but would protect their IP from competitors, which is fine, in my opinion. I mean, again, it's different. It's one thing if they're going after things that they've created, or whether they're going after people for things they didn't create. Okay, so let's, yeah, I think we gotta do both. I thought the one with cats crashing, it was the other guy from Mod. What? I thought the one with cats crashing, it was... Oh, you thought one of your cats was... Yeah, I use Shaper 3D a fair bit, but one, this is a very old version. I don't use this computer for anything other than these streams. I run it on Mac or on my iPad, so I think that it was probably, because I've been using Shaper since before they had a Windows version of it, so it's very possible that this was one of the early Windows builds on here that was before they even had a stable release. A bad joke, never mind. Yeah, no, I got it, Pincho. It took me a couple times. Does Enderwire actually just use the frame of the Ender, just taking it apart and putting it back together with their instructions? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you replace, the only extrusion piece you actually replace is the X-axis. It's a different size. All the other pieces, you're just taking apart a couple pieces here and there and putting them back together with like blind joints or scooting the Y rail forward. I'm a Shaper 3D guy too. Also been using Wiki. How are they not blind joints? They're going through a hole blind. Okay, so this is going towards the back like this. Blind joints is in the better version. Dark Dog's version doesn't use the screws. I don't really know what the differentiation is in between them. There's two screws in here that are slid through just like on a Voron blind joint. I'll check the wiki right now. You got me curious. Did that not go in? Okay, no, it didn't. The stock screws didn't even go in the way on my build. I have all four on both sides. Oh, let me see if I can align this. Boom, boom, boom. Dang. There we go. I'm also working on Enderwire. Oh, nice. Are you doing kit or self-sourcing? Hey, Gixer. Not a whole lot. I mean, sort of brought everyone up to speed on what I'd done since last week as far as printed parts goes, but so far we've basically reassembled the Ender 3 frame, but squared it up at least a bit more than it was, and now we're just doing a couple of changes that are required. Just smaller. There we go. Also, if you haven't, giveaway link is live. It's pinned in chat. So I'll try to announce it a couple more times. I feel like the last few weeks I've had a few people that are like, I didn't know. And I'm like, it's been live for a while now. So if you haven't filled it out, fill out the giveaway form for a spool of Polymaker filament, and we'll do that drawing in another 15 minutes roughly here. Okay. I'm tightening this guy down. Someone commented on, actually quite a few people commented on last week's video, but I think one person said they had to reference the CAD quite a bit. So we'll see. The instructions look really good, but we'll see how much CAD referencing we'll need. Like in this instance, had I not checked the CAD, there's no way I would have done this on both sides, I don't think, because I didn't realize what the purpose was of removing the screw. Well, Jackie, I am printing right now front grills and extensions. Oh, nice. On my Ender, and so far it's going great. Nice. Tagged on Discord. Okay, if I need a thread, I usually use a heat insert now. You mean when you're modeling stuff? I meant more like a big thread, like more of, not even necessarily like for a functional part, but let's say you just wanted to make some kind of an organizer thing, right? And you wanted the cap to thread on, where a heat insert wouldn't really make sense. I mean, you could use a heat insert, but I'm just saying, you know, like for models that you want to have large threads in, it's really easy to do in Fusion 360 by basically you just click on a cylindrical object and there's like a thread tool and you type in exactly the thread that you want and it auto applies it to it. It's really nice. I haven't used Fusion in a really long time, but I remember really liking their thread tool. Are you planning on doing a full video on the conversion? Probably, yeah, I would say so. I mean, it won't go, clearly it won't go into the level of detail of this, but it'll basically cover, like, you know, the parts, my thoughts on the parts included with the kit, things that went well, things that didn't go well, how it's performed, and, you know, that kind of like my typical summary. That would be the goal. Couldn't tell you when, but yeah, I'll definitely try to do that. What are you using instead of Fusion 360? I'm using Shaper 3D. Shaper 3D is it's a paid program that was initially made for iPad, and now it's iPad, Mac, Windows, and it syncs between all of them. It's a yearly license. I think you can pay monthly, but I pay yearly. And yeah, I really enjoy it. It's not as powerful as Fusion. Like Fusion has cam and all sorts of crazy, I guess there is rendering now in Shaper, but it's not as powerful as Fusion. But I like the interface. It's really cool, and the fact that you can also have full access to it on an iPad it's really nice. Have a good night, DJ. Hey, I can Modbot. Which probing variant would you be using? We're starting off with the included one, which is the Omron inductive probe. But depending on how that performs when we're enclosed, we'll either go with the Eddy probe from Big Tree Tech. They're supposed to be sending one, or we might go with Clicky. It just depends. But we'll start with the stock one. I see you've chosen an Alan Mandic color. This was actually not me that chose this. This was chat. We voted on. I let them choose between, I mean, what is that? 5, 10, 20, 30 colors or so, and that was what was decided on. Alrighty, we have got this done. We've got that done. Now it's time to put on rails, which means that we need to actually clean some rails, which I'm not super excited about, but let's do that. Let's move. You know what? I goofed. There's one last thing that needs to happen. That is the bottom screws need to go on here. Let's put these last few screws in. And then we'll do the rails. What is this playing? So something keeps happening. I don't know if it's Aaron that's putting on something different, because I've gotten copyright strikes on the last 3 videos and Spotify is not just playing my playlist. I'm gonna ask her, hold on. Hey, you can't, I've got my mic on. Have you been changing Spotify music while I'm streaming? It's so weird. The last 3 weeks, it's not playing my stream playlist. It's like right now I heard this song, I was like, this isn't on these 2 albums. And then it's like copyright music. So afterwards I get a big notice from YouTube saying, hey, you're playing copyright music, and I have to mute that section of the stream, which sucks. So weird. I have to figure it out. It's driving me crazy. Like it's just me and you on Spotify. This is like our own license, so I don't know why it's leaving the playlist. Oh, yeah, exactly. I was wondering if I was like, you're not sleeping, so I'll have to look into it. It's just weird. I don't know. Yeah, if it keeps doing that. So basically 2 weeks streams ago, there was like 10 songs that played. I had to mute all of that from the stream. And last week there was only 2, so I had to mute that as well. So for some reason, it's jumping off of my stream playlist and playing random other stuff. So I might have to delete all their playlists or something. Wait, has Spotify been doing that to you too? It's an issue for me. Yeah, it just started, Zombie, like maybe 2 weeks ago. It was on one of the Nami like Devil Burner streams, and afterwards YouTube said, hey, like, you know, copyright notice, and I looked at it and there's like 10 tracks. And then last week, I think Nice said, during the stream, he said, oh, you got new songs? And I looked and I'm like, what the heck? This isn't on my playlist. So I had to delete like part of, if you go watch last week's stream from beginning to end, which I'm not saying don't do that, but there's like 3 minutes of it now where there'll be no audio because I had to remove the audio. It's really frustrating. So maybe it's a bug. I don't know. Look if it's random, the randomizer thing, they have a new feature where they throw in other songs. Maybe that's on. Interesting. No, the songs are not in the playlist itself. Yeah, the playlist, and so after last week, this playlist used to have hundreds of songs, and because I was like, what is happening? I deleted the entire playlist. So now it's literally just two albums, both from Stream Beats. I don't know where the randomizer function is. I'll have to look later, but yeah, no, it's not in the playlist. It's throwing in random songs that are copyrighted, and YouTube has their auto detection. So the second the stream ends now, I'll get hit with and it's just really annoying. Smart Shuffle should be turned off. Spotify has a new Smart Shuffle mode even when it's off. I think it's turned on. Okay. I'll do a looking into it, because if it keeps happening, I'm gonna have to have like either no music or just not use Spotify and figure out an alternative place to stream music from, which sucks. It was a pretty good stream though. Thank you, dude, man. I appreciate it. It was a good stream. I agree. Okay. Download and play locally. Can you do that with Spotify? It's in the 3 dots, then edit preferences, and it should be there. Download the songs directly from the Google Drive, then play offline. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll have to do. Because it does 3 times, like 3 strikes, you're out, man. The only reason we only use Spotify I bought Spotify or pay for it for the stream. And then we started using it for sleeping. Play like last night was sleep jazz, which was really nice if anyone's looking for some good sleep music. But yeah, if it's gonna be doing this, I don't know if I'll pay for Spotify if it's just gonna cause problems. Okay, frames on the ground. Let's take out all of these rails. What time is it? 6 more minutes, and then we'll do the giveaway. So let's prep everything before. Let's just cut. Take you. Where's the other extrusion? Here we go. Yeah, sleep jazz, man. We've listened to the same 2 sleeping playlists for probably the last year or 2. One's thunderstorms and one is soft piano. And I was like, New Year, let's change it up. Let's find something new. So I was perusing Spotify's like sleep. I just typed sleep in Spotify and I was perusing all this stuff and discovered there's a thing called brown noise and black noise, which is just like different, like lower frequencies than white noise. And then I found sleep jazz last night and we liked it. It's a 19-hour playlist. But yeah, I'll have to figure out the Spotify thing because it's, again, 3rd time now and it's annoying because to correct it, I have to basically mute part of the stream, then it has to process the entire stream so that it goes down for a while. It's a sucky thing. Jazz will give you nightmares. Jazz isn't not even away. Send me Filament. Sign up for the giveaway. If it's meant to be, you'll win a spool. Pink noise? What is pink noise? Sleeping music. I'd recommend Native American flute. It's funny. My parents actually, I remember, had a CD of like Native American flute music, like you just described, and one of the songs was kind of scared me a little bit when I was a kid. But I put on what was it? It was like something forest music the other day, and I really liked it. But there was a couple tracks that had sort of flute and stuff, and Aaron didn't like it. Pink noises music. Oh, no, it's not, John. As long as it's not the brown note from South Park. Yeah, I didn't know when it said brown noise last night, and I had to click on it to hear it. And I looked over at Aaron and was like, "What if it's just farting?" I'd never heard. White noise is the only like colored noise I'd heard of, and I was like, "What is a brown noise?" Amazon Ocean Sounds. Yeah, I like Ocean Sounds too. Any idea if the kit works with the Ender 3 S1? The only models I'm confident in saying it'll work with without modification is the Ender 3 V2 or the Ender 3 Pro. Enderwire uses, this Dark Dog version uses 2 linear rails for the Y-axis, which is pretty cool. My Switchwire doesn't even have that. It has a single one. I mean, it's been fine, but I'm not going to say no to it. So game plan is, got a tub, so that way I don't drop balls everywhere because it's me. And then we're gonna grab, try not to hit the frame, so not a lot of space in this room with all the crap everywhere. I'm gonna grab some paper. Earplugs are my favorite. I can't do silence, John. My squirrel, my mind goes a million miles an hour, man. I have to have something to drown it out, otherwise I'll just start thinking about stuff. Okay, so we are going to try to do some of the stuff that Steve recommended, actually. So let's do, let's start by just wiping these down. There's some shipping oil and stuff on them, so let's wipe these down. Get rid of that first little bit. I'm a believer that a single wide reel is better. Depending on your Y extrusion, you may end up with a binding that you can't get rid of. Yeah, I guess if it's not aligned properly, you could over constrain. That's for sure. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. Fingers crossed. And I'm not saying that 2 rails is needed, because the Switchwire has been fantastic with a single one, but I'm also not upset with a dual linear rail as long as it performs well. Steve, what does he know? If you say Trident 3 times quickly, Steve will appear in a ploof of smoke. Yeah, the couple things I'm gonna do that Steve recommended was, one, the tub, or maybe not the tub, but napkins down was a really good idea. This surface, if you drop a ball, which I probably will because it's me, it'll bounce and you'll lose it and you're not good. And then as far as the blocks, we'll keep the block with the carriage, or the carriage with the rail it's shipped on, and we'll also put them back in the right direction. So we'll take a little Sharpie marker and mark here and mark, one side of the rail, so that we put everything back on together. Electromagnetic rails are the future. Okay, it's 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna say one last, if you've not signed up for the giveaway, there's a form pinned in chat. You've got 2 minutes before I remove it, and then another 60 seconds after that before I close everything up, and then we'll do the giveaway. We have 275 viewers. That is awesome. 124 likes. We can do better than that. Let's see. Let's try to get 175 likes before the drawing, which is in like 6 minutes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smack the like button. It helps a ton. The channel's been growing. The stream channel's been growing, which has been fun. I've been wanting to ask, is there a story behind your video intro? What is the story behind your video intro? What do you mean? The actual intro with the robot, or the intro of, with all that being said, without further ado? Just ordered kit. You ordered this kit? All right, we're at 152, 155. All right, we can get to 175. I believe. The second one. With all that being said, without further ado, let's get right into today's video. I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay, quick 2-minute rant while we try to get to 175 likes. So the channel, I've been making videos on this channel for over 10 years, I think. It started off as a video game hacking and modding channel, and then it was like tech channel, then some other video game stuff, and then I bought a 3D printer, and it became like 3D printing / making with a heavy emphasis on 3D printing, because it didn't have the space for CNCs or lasers at my parents' or buddy's house where I was living. So like 3.5 years ago, I went from getting in front of a camera and just sort of ranting, which is primarily what I've done for like 7 years up until that point, to starting to script videos, plan videos, get B-roll, yada yada, put a lot more structure and thought into. Steve's here. I told you. If you say Steve 3 times fast, you come and show up. Thank you very much for the 5 memberships, Steve. Welcome. His ears must have been ringing. So about 3.5 years ago, I completely changed everything, and it was great. I'm much prouder of the content, the channel exploded in comparison to how it had done up until that point. And I don't know where the intro came from. I think I wanted some kind of segue from the intro, because I like having an intro to videos. I know some people are like, just get to the point, but like for some people context really matters, and they might need some of the key information leading up to it for it to make sense. But the transition so with all that being said, without further ado, let's get right. I don't know where it came from initially. I feel like it was something that I sort of randomly was like, I'm gonna say that for fun. And I almost instantly got rid of it because it was kind of a joke. And like, I know some people absolutely think it's cringy, and I'm fine with that. But there was a handful of people when I was discussing initially saying, I think I'm gonna stop saying that. Like, it was kind of funny, and it was kind of fun, yada yada. But then there was a bunch of people, at least a handful, that were like, no, like, it bugged me, but now, like, I like it. If you stopped saying it, it would be really weird. So I just sort of stuck with it, and it's been 3.5 years, and some people don't care. Some people think it's funny. Some people hate it. But it's kind of goofy, which is sort of fine, because I feel like anyone that knows me as a person, like, knows me as a person, knows, like, I'm kind of a goofy dude. Like, I can be serious, but I'm very goofy and think life is too short to take yourself super seriously. And so it's sort of like, as much as it might be cringy or whatever, it kind of fits. Like, it kind of fits. So yeah, I don't know. So choose, I tried 3 times. I've been... Yeah. So, will it stick forever? I don't know. I have no idea. But for now, I'm rocking it until I come up with something different. But I don't mind. I think it's one of those catches your attention, throws you a curveball. Yeah, it's goofy. I get that it's goofy. I get that it doesn't add anything really to the video, but it's sort of like just become part of it now. And it feels weird. I tried for fun just the other day segueing into the video without saying it. And I'm like, it feels like it's missing this thing now. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's remove this pinned. Let's see, let's remove this message, unpin. We had 174 likes, we need one more. We just need one more. I like the distinction and uniqueness to, oh, I missed it. Any info on the Cyber EU only, fully assembled Vorons? The first time I'm hearing about it, Adrian. I like the distinction and uniqueness. Cool, thank you. Yeah, again, I don't know how to be any way other than me, man. And like, I try to take feedback and all that, but like, I'm a nerdy dude, I'm a goofy dude, I like just sort of do my thing. And you know, I'm totally fine with some people not liking my channel or my content. It doesn't hurt my feelings. And I think that the beautiful thing about lots of people covering the same topic is everyone has their own unique delivery and style. And if mine is not your style, with my very million miles per hour talking and stuff, like, that's fine. There's a lot of other fantastic creators out there that might be better for someone else. So yeah, not being your intro would be like Stefan not saying Guten Tag. Yeah, it'd be weird if I started saying Guten Tag, everyone. Anyways, all right, let's do this. I'm getting too distracted now. All right, how many entries? Oh, we did it. We had 199 likes. Are you serious? We were at 174 a second. All right, dude, DJ Airhorn. You guys are awesome. Thank you. You guys rock. Okay. All right, so we have 180 entries. I still need Steve to show me how the heck he's able to get all the names without having to download and re-upload them. So let me download these really quick, extract all of these. Extract all, beautiful, beautiful. I need to open Google Drive. It's a process for me once, okay. I'm sure it's user error, the reason why I have to download and upload the spreadsheet of this thing, but replace existing file. 202, that's crazy. No streamer is that handsome, man. No streamers who? Well, who? I'm only here for the food content. You and me both. Okay, all right, this is uploaded. My legs are cramping. Since the last week and a half, I have not sat at my desk. I only stand now because my back's been having issues. I'm trying to get a little better. Oh my God, PF, thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships. Nice, thank you very much for the 10 euros just because I like you. Thanks, man. You guys are awesome. At least some air horns. Air horns. You can click on open spreadsheet. I've done the open spreadsheet, but it seems like it doesn't capture all of the, it doesn't seem like it captures everybody's name when I do that. Like some are missing. And then when I download it and re-upload it, it has them all sorted nicely. So I'm sure it's me, zombie. I'll try it again. I'll try it again soon, but when we first were doing the giveaways, it was really driving me crazy. And what's going on? There we go, okay. 180, that is perfect, that is everybody. You are getting old. Yeah, 30, am I 31? I'm 31. You're only allowed to change into Steve when you get older. You are only allowed to change into Steve when you get older. Oh yeah, bro, thanks for the membership. Okay, all right, let's do this. So, this is officially the first Polymaker giveaway of the year.
Just because I like you, thumbs up.
That is a super delayed. I just heard your donation, nice. And that completely distracted me. This is the first giveaway of the year, first stream of the year. As always, thank you to Polymaker for being such an awesome company and supporting our channel and so many other channels and projects out there. If you are in the US or Canada and you win, you will end up getting a gift card. If you're outside the US or Canada, there's a big list of filaments you can choose from and they will send you, it's like any of their PLA, ABS, ASA, or PETG other than exotics. And yeah, if there's any filament you want to pick up from Polymaker, there's a link in the description, and it does support the channel, which is always appreciated, but you certainly don't have to. The filament we're using for this build is their Galaxy ASA ABS, and I've used tons of their filament. I mean, the VZ bots in it, what is other things? The switch, nope, that is not. I'm brain farting right now, but tons of, pretty much any build we've done on this channel for the last year has been in their filament. Bearded Bucket, thank you for becoming a member. Okay, anyways, how many shuffles are we doing today? Clearly, gosh, the coffee isn't helping. Let's do anywhere between 5 and 20 shuffles. How many shuffles today? Okay, I thought of two other printer builds. The King Room build that I'm doing is in their Galaxy Orange, and the cantilever printer that we built, it was in their red ABS. I can't think of the stinking printer name. Okay, let's see. We got a 13, a 15, a 17. A lot of 7s, which is predictable. A lot of 6s, also predictable. Can you have a Pantheon instead? Yes, John. Yes, John. Okay, so we've done 6 and 7. Let's add them together and do 13 shuffles. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, good luck, everybody. In 3, 2, and 1. Round and round we go. I can't really see. Looks like it starts with a V, the winner. No, I was wrong. Rice P? Rice P? I don't know how you say that, but you, I believe, are a first-time winner, so congratulations. Let's get air horn action. I need to bring back the confetti button, and things that need to happen. I need to figure out why Spotify is throwing copyright music into our streams. I need to get new membership icons for a 1.5 and 2-year mark, and I need some new cool sound effects and overlays. Those are the 3 things I need to do. Yeah, congratulations, Rice. I will send you an email later on tonight, and depending on where you are, you'll either get a gift card or pick out your filament. And I would say just be patient. I don't know how long the wait time has been lately, but like a week to 2 weeks before you hear back after submitting the form isn't super uncommon. So, but Polymakers always come through on every giveaway they've done, so. All right, okay, let's see if we can get our rails cleaned up. So we've already wiped them down briefly. The game plan is over bucket, napkin down. You better write that down. I know. Every time, it's really funny though. Sometimes saying things out loud, I don't know if anyone else is like that. It helps me remember them. Like all the time I'll say, hey babe, remind me to, A, B, and C. And sometimes she'll remind me, she does her best. But a lot of times, just by telling her that and like taking it out of scattered brain into it's been, you know, audibly stated, I'll remember it on my own. So part of it is me just saying that, but you're not wrong. I should probably write these things down. Where is a Sharpie? Did it fall? I thought we had a Sharpie in here at one point. Is this a permanent marker? Looks like a paint marker. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know if it's not. Maybe it fell down here into this bucket. I was really hoping to mark the linear bearings. Let me check on my other desk, and then if it's not there, let me ask Aaron really quick. Pronounced Reese? Pronounced what? Let's see. Oh, I found it. Yes, Sharpie. Okay. So, I didn't do this prior to the build with Steve, but trying to be better. So I'm just going to put a tiny little dot on the back of the block, and we'll put a tiny little dot, maybe a little bit bigger than that, like that, and like that. That way we can see the orientation, just to make sure everything fits back together nicely. Let's do that for all of them. Let's. Oh, Reese. It's pronounced Reese. Reese P. Gotcha. Okay. What did I said rice, right? Like I said, right? Okay, Reese. Sorry, Reese. Any force of FileMaker had a response from Sean. Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Okay. So Sean's doing responses. That's awesome. He reached out to me when he got hired on. I haven't talked to him since then though. He's in a bit. I mean, he's a busy dude, man. Between he just got married and all the stuff that went on with his channel, and now he's working at FileMaker. I guess I don't necessarily have to mark the block, because I could just say that the rail, because I could just say that whichever side I mark is the side that has this line on the back. But what the heck? We'll still, in this case, we're still doing that. But I don't see any harm in marking both. That way, if it comes off, we'll still know. You're probably thinking of Rice Krispie. I got Rice Krispies. We got one of my buddies that lives out here, and our neighbor brought over some, baking goods for the holidays. And Aaron has not really had much of them, but I've sampled all the goods. I mean, you gotta do it, but it's just funny. I'm trying to eat healthier, and then it's like, here's some fudge and cookies and stuff. Hey, Steven, what is with the line? Okay, so the only reason I'm marking the line is so that way when I put this block on, I put the block on the same way I took it off. Is it necessary? Probably not. Is it overkill? Probably. However, there is a chance that potentially one side of the rail might have a little bit more wear, or it might fit a little bit differently on the block. So it's just ensuring that the way this came from the factory is the way I'm putting it back together. It's just trying to remove any variables. I think you need to finish the stealth press, and we'll make Enderwire build much easier. I haven't even printed all the parts for the stealth press yet, Zombie. Okay, so what we're doing in this case is I'm just taking the block completely off, okay? Block is off, block is down. Okay, and I'm not gonna wipe these down with isopropyl alcohol or nothing like that. I'm just gonna really quick one more time, wipe them down. Okay, and then I'm going to take, I need to get some different, man, I wish there was a way I could do it. If somebody has the best recommendation for the grease to use for linear rails, let me know, because I'm using this, and I've used this for tons of builds. I believe it's a super lube white lithium based grease, and some say don't use it, some say do. It was in the Voron docs at one point at least for being fine, and I will fully admit there's no issues using this because I've used it for years, I've never had a problem. The thing I don't like about it is how thick it is. It is not very fun. It's not very fun to apply, and I would like for this to be my last build using this stuff, because it's just not great. So if I need to figure out what else I'm gonna use. So all I'm gonna do is push on the syringe, get some of this grease all over the balls, And then I'm gonna use probably my needle nose pliers and, nope, needle nose tweezers, or needle tweezers, and just move all the balls through. So I'm just going a little bit like that, a little bit like that. Okay. So we've got greased up balls. And we are going to take these guys, and I am just going to I'm not even gonna yeah, actually I will reapply because it's sliding. But yeah, this stuff is just thicker than I'd like for it to be. So I'm not going to reapply it. I've got a bunch of it just came off on my tweezers, so I'm just going to sort of rub it in now that I've rotated all the balls. Okay, I dropped 2 out because of course I did. Okay, that side's done. Happy little trees, yeah. I use Mobilux. I've heard, isn't that what Annex recommends? I feel like that's where I've heard that being used primarily. I know that like West 3D has some of it too, just for Rico. There's quite a few different vendors out there that have their own variants. But yeah, the key thing I'm looking for is, of course, cost is a factor. Like I don't need to get the most premium stuff. This white lithium grease stuff was really inexpensive. But yeah, the easier to apply is what I'm really going for. Okay. Man, this takes so much concentration for me. Okay. So we're good. I would say that none of the balls have fallen out, and I'm not going to do the thumb trick after last time. I'm just going to try. By the way, I think all of them work fine. Oh, what did I miss? I switched from Super Lube to EP2 as well. Yeah, everyone has their own thing. I'm going to say this is the craziest thing I've seen on stream in a while. Really? Okay, so we're lining this up, and I believe that I can pretty easily slide this back on. Nope. So I might have to. Let me check one last thing. I think this is a little bit looser. Okay, so these go on easier. The little plastic guys are included, so I wonder if it's best if I just do that. So I'll slide the plastic guy on. That way it's covered. And I'll just sort of follow it with this like we did with the tap. Okay, it is the way. That was really easy. I use spray lithium grease. I bought some spray stuff at one point and it made a freaking mess, and I just sort of ruled off of the sprays. If you have a dummy rail, use that. Yeah, that was definitely the way. I don't want to use my thumbs feed. I was having PTSD from the BZ build. Yeah, that feels... Worked it in. We are good. 1 down, 4 to go. That's all right. We'll only get faster. Okay, so 1 down. Nope. Gotta let spray dry. Spray grease is a nightmare. Yeah, son of a... What is going on? There we go. I tried spray when I was building my first V0 and it did not go well. I'm totally, again, one of those things where it's probably a me thing. But it sort of turned me off from spray. Okay, well, that looks good. Quick little wipe down where the block was, put this off to the side. Get a little bit of grease. Grease in our balls. Grease, 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 grease. Let's just do one side at a time. So I forgot, because it's been a little bit since we've done this. I think the VZ build was the last one, but the tip that Steve recommended then, which I'm mirroring now, and it's a lot easier. When you're pushing the balls through and you're trying to grease them, as close as you can to the edge where they go into the channel is the safest place. If you're pushing from the center or other side, you're applying more pressure because it's sort of pushing more through, and it's more of a chance for it to move the gate. But if you just kind of do 2 or 3 at a time as close to the edge, it doesn't really push them out of their channel. So we're doing the Steve. And we'll add a little bit more to the ones that we can see now. And we'll do it one last time on this side. Yeah, 2 at a time honestly is like the magic number. Let me get rid of some of that excess grease. Daniel, I just made a memo. Just make a memo to yourself for the remaining tasks. Hey, what's up, Steven? Sorry if I missed. I'm sure I'm missing chat, and I apologize. This is something where I really don't want to place one of these balls. And as much as I'm an excellent multitasker that never drops the ball, no pun intended, I really want to concentrate on this. Ooh, I'm gonna announce it because Steve hasn't. If you guys are not aware, Steve is starting to stream on Tuesdays at nighttime, which I know won't fly for everybody, but for at least US folk. He started yesterday, and I got to see quite a bit of it. So, Steve, I'm plugging your new nighttime stream. Okay, so we are going with this little plastic cover again. Cool, no balls popped out, which is what we like to see. We are lining up our Sharpie marks, so that way we are feeding from the same side, like so. And then we will just press the 2 together, not leaving any gap for a ball to pop out, and we are good to go. No pun intended. All right, 2 down. Tagged you on the live stream channel, thank you. Good luck with not dropping balls, Mo. Appreciate it, Iconic. I'm feeling pretty confident though, which is probably a scary thing. Okay, rail done. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's already, okay. We're not gonna get as far as, I severely, all right, we're gonna get these rails cleaned, and then that's probably gonna be what we're gonna do today. We'll get the rails mounted and start actually putting on printer parts next week. I think the frame and the rails are like a big kind of time suck out of it, and then after that we'll start to really make some progress. Okay, taking off 1, taking off 2, sliding this off. Beautiful. Okay. If anyone wants a different camera angle, I'm happy to change it, but I feel like this is probably the best. Like, we're up close and personal. This is also, without a doubt, my favorite way to do this. Having these little plastic covers for the rails is so nice. I hadn't even planned on using them, but they've got enough tolerance or slack to get them on really easily, but then they're a perfect sort of block for sliding the actual stainless rails on, or the rails. I don't know if they're stainless, but the rails on. Let's rotate this. I'm gonna hit bed. It's 11:30 here. Have a great rest of your day. See you next week, or Steve's Sunday stream. Sounds great. Thanks for hanging out, Napin. Hope you get a great night's sleep. Check out the, what did I say? The Sleep Jazz, dude. If you can't sleep, man, I'm telling you, Spotify Sleep Jazz. It's a 19-hour playlist, and you'll be grooving. You'll be grooving in your sleep, man. I'll see you next week. Sorry if I missed it. What do you use for lube for the carriages? So I'm using Super Lube. That I got from just like, where the hell did I get? I mean, I got it so many years ago. I think I got it from just like Walmart, like a big box store. It's just Super Lube in a tub, like white lithium. I'm pretty sure I'm using, actually I'm not using white lithium. Is it I'm using PTFE? These the same guys, multi-purpose. Huh, I think this is what I'm using. It's been a while since I filled this tube, but I'm pretty sure this is it. Super Lube, white, multi-purpose synthetic grease, PTFE. I've used it for years. It's worked fine. My biggest complaint is that it's thick. It's actually, this is the easiest time I've had applying it. I think it's because maybe the syringe is getting less in here, and so it's having an easier time squeezing out. But it's always been such a pain to apply this stuff, so I can't say I recommend it. The only thing I recommend it for is its price. It is very inexpensive and seems to get the job done, but I would like stuff that's a little bit less thick. Okay. That's what I use for everything on my machines. Yeah, it works really well. It does work. PTFE are good. No need for something special. Yeah, it does get the job done. Seriously, my only complaint is that I wish it was a little bit thinner for applying, but yeah, I've used this stuff for linear rails, and I've also used it for lead screws. I'm almost positive this is what I've used for lead screws. Okay, let's slide this bad boy on. Like so. Oh, what are we doing? There we go. Nope. There we go. Oh god, it's just so nice. I never want to go back to installing these anyway. I have an A1 Mini. Do I need to remove the rails to clean them? No. Don't do anything with those things. Yeah, you're under warranty. I mean, you'll be under warranty for a year with that, but whatever they do from the factory is intended to last. Unless you do something crazy or you've had it for a long time, I wouldn't be doing maintenance on an A1 or A1 Mini anytime soon. These rails feel really nice too. They're SIBOOR branded, all 5 of them, and they feel really, really good. I like the syringe idea. Yeah, the syringe, the only thing I would recommend doing if you go with the syringe, and I do think the syringe is a great idea. I'm sure I saw it somewhere else and was like, I'm doing that. Is I would go with a slightly wider tip on it. The tip on this is nice because it's narrow and it's easier to get into small areas like this, but when this was originally at like 20 milliliters, I filled it up the entire way. Excuse me, wow. And it was such a pain to push out any of the grease. So if you're going to go with a small one, I recommend only filling it up a little bit at a time. Don't just go with the whole entire thing. But if you get just a slightly wider tip, it'll probably be a much nicer experience. So works for your chainsaw tip as well. Okay, two left. We're making up for lost time here. By far the fastest I've ever done this. Why is... Huh. This rail feels a little less smooth compared to the other ones, but... Okay, let's give it a go. Nero 3D got copyrighted for music. Talk to him. He got it reversed. Interesting. Okay. I know that I know that with Nero's it was actually, unless this is something recent, but I know that with Nero's there was a mistake. Like basically his Spotify was playing the correct track, which was from Streambeats, but I think it was like the creator of the track that gave that track to Streambeats tried copyright striking it, and so he tagged, if I remember, Stream Beats, and they took care of it. Well, in my scenario, what's happening is the music that Spotify is playing is actually copyrighted. It's Spotify that is deviating from my stream playlist on its own, which is not cool, man. So unless his is doing that too and he figured out something else, I don't know, but I need to figure it out because it's now, this will be week 3 of having to remove part of the stream wherever that plays. And granted, a lot of the stream is, you know, sort of jibber jabber and ramble and stuff, but some of it's like helpful stuff. And I would hate for someone to be watching a stream or trying to follow along with their build, and all of a sudden it's just like no audio because of a silly mistake. Oh, Jack's awake. I hear him crying. Luke, where were you before I started this? I didn't even think about that. My hands are, there we go. I'll have grease hands for the rest of the night. Yeah, definitely should be wearing gloves. This was the least smart thing I've probably done on today's stream, is doing this without gloves. Okay, that side's done. I didn't even think about it. Nobody said, I guess, this is how I generally lube rails, quite a bit different. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can do it. This is definitely not the way I was doing it prior to doing my build with Steve. I was just sort of injecting the grease without removing the block, actually, from behind the rail. But I do think this is probably one of the more, unless you've got an actual, if you have an outlet, that's the best way to do it. But if you don't have that, I do think this is probably one of the, tell him I said hi. I do think this is one of the better ways you can do it if you're trying to be as thorough as possible. Do I think it's probably a little bit overkill? Sure. But it's the motion for your machine, right? So even if it just makes it a hair bit better, it's worth it. Did I grease up the other side already? Did I do both sides? I think I did. It looks like there's grease on that side, so we're gonna go with I'm done. I just zoned out. Don't drop the baby. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Jack's awake right now, but I'm not gonna hold him with my with my grease hands. Okay. I guess I sort of zoned out there for a second. Okay, there we go. There we go. Looking good. Feeling. Oh, don't pop out on me. This block. Oh. I'm like, this block really doesn't want to move. Derp. That's funny. Well, if at first you don't think it's user error, try again. There we go. Okay, last rail. Yeah, depending on how much packing grease is on them, sometimes I'll wipe down the rails with isopropyl alcohol and then take some of this grease on my finger and kind of rub it in, but there wasn't a whole lot on this, so I just wiped it down with some paper, and we're gonna call it good on that. When should you redo greasing and cleaning on a printer? That's a great question. I don't really have the answer to, because I've had printers for years of running very heavily and hardly have ever done any maintenance on them. The exception to that was back in the day, I was printing with, back in the day I was printing and using a lot of hairspray. This was like, I mean, the early days of 3D printing, and that was quite common for ABS. And the overspray was pretty aggressive. And so in those instances, I would probably every few months wipe down at least all, back then I think I was primarily rocking linear rods. I would wipe down the rods, like clean them up really nicely, usually with IPA to get rid of any overspray that stuck on them, and re-grease things every few months. But now that I'm just using powder coated PEI, I mean, honestly, I'll run years without doing any sort of maintenance on them. If you live in a really like humid area and you're concerned with things like rusting, it might be worth applying a bit of grease to the rails occasionally. But yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, I do very little maintenance, and I don't feel like I've had very many issues from that. Do rails get ruined from dust and particles from clothes? I would say you definitely want to avoid things from getting on the rails. That being said, lots of the printers live in the garage, and I also do some, I guess not much CNCing, but there's CNCs, lasers, and like wood tools in the garage. And I've definitely gotten dust on the printers, and they still seem to perform pretty well. But if I was a printer, I would prefer to not have dust and lint and any of that stuff on it. So I think that at the very least, like wiping them down with either, I think paper towels, honestly, I prefer even over microfiber. But yeah, in most circumstances, 3D printers are fairly low maintenance, and they can still last a really, really long time. I think that unless you have a very good reason, I think you're more likely to potentially damage something by disassembling and taking rails off to re-grease them than just letting them run their course. So, the big hair days of early 3D printing. Yeah, it was actually funny. My dad uses hairspray, and I'm pretty sure that when I first started 3D printing, before I went out and actually bought like Aquanet or the Ultra Hold stuff I was using back then, I went and borrowed his hairspray for it. It did a pretty good job. I mean, for ABS, the first filament I ever printed with was ABS because it was the most common before even PLA. And ABS or hairspray on glass did a pretty good job of holding. But yeah, the overspray was absolutely just horrendous. Like, after enough prints, I could peel off almost a layer of the hairspray with how thick it was. I still have Aquanet for 2016. You gotta check your expiration date, man. I'm not sure if that stuff's still good. Yeah, Aquanet. Every time I see Aquanet, it's like, oh man, that takes me back. It was all like Aquanet and blue painter's tape. That was and then there was Kapton tape. People started using Kapton tape, and then there was the first official one I remember was Build Tack, OG Build Tack, and then it was probably Gecko Tech, I think, was the next big one that came out. I never used Gecko Tech, but I did use OG Build Tech a little bit. Okay. Greasiest hands around. Man, yeah, these are so nice. Build Tack. Yeah. Build Tack was awesome. I mean, Build Tack would let you print with PLA without any issues on a cold bed. And it stuck really well. It was definitely, for its time, it was groundbreaking. And then PEI came out. And I liked PEI, but I didn't like that it bonded with PETG. Although Build Tack was awful with PETG in my opinion, and TPU as well, just like PEI. But then powder coated PEI came out, and I'm like, this is it. Like, we're meant to be. Oops, let me rub this back and forth a little bit to work in. I bought a case of Aquanet. Yeah, yep, on glass, it was fantastic. So then how to handle a laser with linear rails? I mean, I would occasionally wipe it down. That would be my recommendation. If you are getting like particles and stuff from the smoke and just like char, I would just take some paper towels and wipe it down. I don't even think I would apply anything to the paper towels. Like, I would dry wipe them down probably. Is it recommended to use glue stick to PC on PEI? Guessing that's right to do. So you can use, like if you're using smooth PEI, you can absolutely use glue stick as a not for adhesion, but for a separation layer or as a release agent. Glue stick also works quite well for nylons. I would say that glue stick works better than PEI for nylons. Although G2 Garolite is the best for nylons. But yeah, glue stick still has its place. The Poly Pro, I actually will use packing tape for. There's specific Poly Pro sheets or adhesive, but packing tape is often made out of Poly Pro and it sticks fairly well. The biggest thing you'll run into issues is the adhesive on packing tape isn't really that great. So when you're running a heated bed, you'll start to get it peeling. But yeah, some of the sort of hacky-ish stuff still works pretty well for some of the more, I don't know, I mean, I call them obscure filaments, but the more engineering filaments. Yeah, Garolite's fantastic for nylon. Garolite is really, really good for nylon. When I worked at Matter Hackers, the Pulse XE that we sold, was sort of intended to print their nylon X really well, and their nylon X was a carbon fiber nylon. And that was my first time using Garolite, probably, gosh, I've been with 2 years, 2.5 years, 3, 4, 5.5 years ago or so, and it was the first time I used Garolite, and I don't like it. Like, some people like Garolite for everything, it's their daily driver, and I'm you know, again, one of those things, if that's what floats your boat, then by all means, but I am not that way. However, for nylon, it's fantastic. It is, I have yet to find anything that can compete with it. But yeah, personally, I'm a powder-coated PEI fanboy. I just think it works really well. It's super forgiving. I like the uniform texture. I have nothing but good things to say about it. I use glue sticks both on glass, flexi. Wait, both on glass, flexi, under bed. Gotcha. Glue stick, glue water. Glue water? What is glue water? Personally use Aquanet for everything. Oh, you still do? You standing outside my door? Does he look cute? Okay. My hands are so greasy. Oh, he looks like a little man. Is his hair parted? Well, show off, Jack. I'm done with the rails. It's primarily what we're gonna get done today. Let me see. Come on. Looks like he's got a job interview. Come here, Buff. Look at this guy.
Stand him up, stand him up.
Okay. Sorry for the tweezers, Bubby. Look at this guy.
Yay!
You look very handsome, son. You look very handsome. You got a job interview? Mama taking you for a job interview?
Yay, Bubby! Woo!
What a cutie pie. He looks great. I gotta dress up, man. I'm taking him out like this and to show me up. Oh, say hi, everybody. He's officially 10 months in 2 days.
Yay!
Oh, big guy, 10 months. He's got 4 teeth now. He's clapping. He's officially saying dada. Not on command, huh, though? You say dada? Dad, 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 dad. Oh, Bubby, can you say no? Huh?
Dada.
Oh, wait, see if I can do this. Jackson. He's trying. Yeah, he's been doing the spitty tongue thing. All right, let me finish this up. I got greasy hands. I don't think I got much on his outfit though. You look fantastic. He looks really good. Thank you for showing me. I wasn't ready. Dude, all he's missing is a briefcase. He just needs a little baby briefcase. Okay, all right.
You want the door open?
No, I'll close it for. I'll be.
For 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'll be done shortly. You're embarrassed. He's such a cool dude, man. He's just so rad. Yeah, he's had his 2 teeth, his bottom teeth, and then the other day I don't remember if he bit me or if I was just kind of laying. He's been gnawing every night, and I looked and saw he had his top tooth, and now his other one's coming through. So he's cool. I've been feeding him all sorts of stuff now, and just seeing how he likes and what he doesn't like. So, but yeah, he's gonna go with us to the Italian restaurant for dinner. So I guess he's dressed the part. He looks like he's the one that's gonna be ordering a bottle of wine, holding the original Benchy. Yeah, 3D printed briefcase. That'd be cool. I hear Aaron laughing. Super distracted. Okay, so I think we'll end it there because the next things are just basically mounting rails. Let's take a look ahead though, just to see what's coming up next. So we did the tedious parts, right? Which was we got the frame back together, we did the couple of things we needed to do, our rail's ready to rock and roll. So next week we are barking dogs. So many distractions. Teething is the worst. Mine's 20 months and has a million little chompers coming in. Yeah, he's been teething since probably 3 months old, and it's awful. I've tried all the we have a bunch of baby teether stuff. I've frozen toys. I looked online and everyone recommended getting a washcloth, wetting it, twisting it, and freezing it. We've tried that, and it kind of likes it. We tried Orajel based off my parents' recommendation, but I don't think that works that well because I think that basically by the time you get it on his gums, he's already sort of like licked it off or swallowed it, so it doesn't actually set. And yeah, if the night's really, 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 really bad, we've done infant Tylenol like twice, but other than that, I'm just kind of like, I'm sorry, dude, I don't really know what to do. So, oh, Delilah, yeah, Delilah's she's our old lady, she's 11, and she's our lab pit mix, and she's the sweetest girl, but her bark's pretty scary. Okay, anyways, so next week we are doing Z rails, we are doing Y rails, and then we're done with rails, or not X, but then we're putting on panels, cable chain. This is Y-axis, 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 Y-axis motor. Okay, so next week we are definitely getting through the Y rails, Z rails, and Y-axis completely, and we'll see if we can get through the skirts. I think that what I'll do is before next week, I will go through this section and add all those heat inserts, so that way we don't have to do that, and this will greatly speed up this process. But let's try to get through that. If we get through both of those next week, then we're at the 50% point. At least I think that means we're at the 50% point, and not that when you're done with this, you'll be at the 50% point. And then I don't know what days or what hours Erin works next week. If she ends up working her usual closing shift, then I might start the stream an hour earlier, so just be on the lookout for that if you want to catch it. Headphones work amazing, you get good night's sleep. And 3v2 is catching dust. No. Have you tried whiskey for you, baby? I have, yes, I have. Certainly, yes. Have you done an FT5 to Voron conversion or no find in fun doing it? I've never heard, for anyone who doesn't know, FT5 was created by Fulgurtech. It's a monster Cartesian style printer. Fulgurtech is no longer in business, which makes me sad because they were my second printer, Fulgurtech FT5. And it's a monster. They had a couple sizes. So this is the, oh, what size do you have actually? Because this one's more in line with like what you would expect, but there was a bigger version of this. There was a bigger version of this. I thought there was a wide version of this that was quite a bit bigger, and Chris Riley has it. This doesn't seem like the right one. There's one like this that's like twice the width that I can't think of right now. Let's see. Have you tried? Oh yeah, we said that. Kicking it old school. I was gonna say the same. Both my kids responded really well to Mama's Bliss teething gel. I haven't heard of that. I might have to look. We just tried Orajel because my parents, when you first started teething, were like, Orajel. Is there a reliable AliExpress source to buy linear rails? I don't have an exact source, but I've purchased rails for my original V0 off AliExpress and I've had zero issues with them. And I think I just went with whatever was in the official Voron bomb at the time. So they had their spreadsheet with links to AliExpress, and I just went with that. I have used LDO rails, I've used Honey Badger rails, and I've used some cheapo rails, and they all worked relatively well for me, to be honest with you. If you're going off AliExpress, I would check in the Voron bombs to see if they have a recommended vendor. If they don't, then I would probably just go on AliExpress and search linear rails and find the vendor that has the most sales history and the most positive reviews and probably go with that. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know how much cheaper AliExpress rails are compared to LDO or Fabrico or any of the other ones, but if it's not that much cheaper, it might be worth just paying for the better rails. These are AliExpress rails that I bought for an upgrade that never happened, and they don't even have a brand on them. They look very similar. I mean, I guess they're linear rails, right? But yeah, I don't even have a brand on these. But these are ones I went just based off of what I just described. I went on AliExpress, I searched the vendors and found one that had good reviews, and I bought 1, 2, 3 rails. I think this was supposed to be for the cantilever printer upgrade. Look at it, they even sent balls and a little thing for it too, like so. But yeah, I don't have a direct one, I guess. Gosh, I don't do short answers, I guess. CNA from Alley. There we go. Zombie says CNA from Alley. I will take that. You'll be on a business trip. Oh, man. Well, we'll still have a couple more weeks of this, so I'll bring you up to speed when you come back. Oh, it's the FT6 is what I'm thinking of. What time is it too? I told Aaron. Okay, no, I'm still good. Still doing good. FT6. There she is. Yeah, it's the FT6 I'm thinking of. Yeah, this is what I thought you were trying to convert into a Voron. The FT5 seems like it'd be an easier process, sort of, to do a hybrid. But yeah, I wanted this. I really wanted this printer, but it just never ended up happening. This was what I had my eyes on for like the first large printer. CNA from the Voron Bomb. Okay, cool. So CNA must have been what I went with. Have a great week and enjoy your date tonight. I'm sure Jack will be hitting on all the way. Dude, Jack is such a flirt. I can't take him anywhere, man. Dude is such a flirt. Ay, ay, ay. Thanks, Lisa. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Hey, I'm currently installing the new double-sided PEI bed. Any tips? Wait. Hey, Mon, I'm currently installing a new double-sided PEI bed. Any tips on what side to print PLA on? I don't understand that question. If it's double-sided PEI, isn't it... Are you saying is it smooth versus textured or double-sided textured? I'm assuming there's a difference, otherwise the question doesn't make sense. If it's smooth versus textured, it really comes down to personal preference. I personally like powder-coated PEI more. I feel like it's more forgiving. Typically, you want your nozzle a little bit closer because it likes a tiny bit of push and it helps form that sort of texture. While with smooth, I like it a hair further off. I mean, you still don't want to see a gap between your lines, but the printing parameters are quite similar. Other than materials, you don't want to print directly on smooth PEI, but PLA, you can pick your take. I would say try either of them and see which one you personally like better. Some like the really smooth mirrory base preferred over texture, and that's perfectly fine. I was seeing that you can get lighter and medium preload. Oh, nice. You're who I followed to build my FT5, then went to Earth 19 to buy. You are who I followed to build. You mean I didn't have the FT5? I had the Fulgurtech 2020. Maybe it was someone else with the FT5. But I think I was at Murph 20. Was it 18 or 19? John says he'll be at CES. Ooh. That'll be fun. Have fun. I've never been. CES looks like it'd be a lot of fun. Thanks for thinking here. Got me. Alan, thank you very much for the 8 months. Thanks for the stream. Great start to the new year. Cheers. I'll air horn to that. Thank you very much. I still need to build my magnetic IDEX printer. That's I'm happy that you haven't built it because like anytime if you're like ERCF1 or yada, I'm like, well, magnetic IDEX one. It gives me something to throw back at you, so you can't build it. Is it possible to turn the original Ender 3 to Switchwire? I know Y-axis will be replaced. That's what we're doing here, Matthew. It's an Enderwire is what they call it, but we're turning the Ender 3 to the Switchwire. So that is, yes, you absolutely can do it. I mean, it's a full kit, right? This is the kit we're using. Did I move the page? I moved the page. No, I didn't. Here you go. Yeah, this is the kit we're doing. So we're not doing included printed parts. I printed them out myself. So $359 gets you everything you need. So I mean, other than a Raspberry Pi, I suppose. But yeah, it gives you the rails, the extrusion, the hot end stuff, all of the enclosure panels, the new flex bed, the screen. It gives you everything. So yeah, absolutely. I like printing on both for PLA. If you can get a really nice first layer, smooth looks really good. Yeah, I mean, I loved, before we had all these crazy options, back when it was like blue painter's tape and glass, I really liked printing on glass because I had that. And like blue painter's tape typically has some kind of texture and it makes it where when you take your part off, it usually doesn't look that great. Like back then, it was like anything you printed was great, but in today's standards, it didn't look that great. But glass, I love being able to see like a light reflect off of it. So no, I absolutely understand. I absolutely understand why some like the smooth look of smooth PEI because it is a pretty look as well. Mainboard, so this kit intends for you to use the stock mainboard. We will not be, one, I don't have it. I've swapped this printer over quite a long time ago. And really, I think you're better off getting a better board than the stock one, but if you're trying to keep costs down, you certainly can. The kit comes with the extender, clipper extender board, so you can use the stock board, and this gives you additional inputs like, I think it's really mostly for additional fans. I think it's mostly fans, really. PA1, PA2, PA3, PA4, looks like voltage and ground, so maybe also another, so it looks like fan inputs, it looks like maybe also an additional hot end possibly, and then I see 3 volts. So yeah, it gives you basically the additional inputs you're gonna need, and that comes with the kit, so it's totally up to you. It's kind of, this is a little bit more of a pick your own adventure type setup based off of cost and what you're looking to do and how much hardware you really want to reuse, right? If your goal is to like reuse as much hardware as possible, then use the stock board. It'll work fine. It just won't have, I don't think, maybe it is 2209s, is it? I don't remember if the Ender 3 V2, they might have switched to 2209s on it, like silent drivers, or 2208. So yeah, it might not be that bad. It's fans, thermistor, and RGB. Cool, okay, that's what it is then. Fans, thermistor, and RGB. That's what it does. You got 4 ads today, Nice? I ran the same settings as last week where you said there was no ads. Is there going to be a separate video review for the Ender 3 Switchwire? That's the goal, Thomas. That is the goal. After my Mark III, I just built my Voron 2.4. It's not only faster, but also the quality is way better. 2.4 is a fantastic printer. It really is. I can't wait for the colored PEO sheet to come in. I saw you post it. I'm excited to see how your prints turn out on that. 2208 or 2209 without UART. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember they did at some point swap over to silent drivers, at least on their primary board. It's been some years now. I think that I remember that conversion, everyone was really excited, but it was such a long time ago now. And it's like, now if you're not rocking at least silent drivers, it's like, really? It's, you know, what year is it? So I don't have a link to the CNA rails in AliExpress. I can't find them. I would just go through, let's see if we go here and I just type on Voron, boop, Voron design. And we go to sourcing guide. And we go to, it would be under what? Is there motion? Yeah, bearings, linear rails, CNA. Bam, here you go. They are in chat for you. There you go. Modbot, have you tried the label printer yet? I haven't, Collie, I haven't. I've been debating getting a new label printer and just letting maybe Aaron have this one. They have some, there's one I've been eyeballing where you can like use your phone to type things on or send lists to it. And it looks like, especially because we're moving and I'm gonna be wanting to label a bunch of stuff, it looks like a better setup, but I still need to do that. The CNA ones seem very cheap. Well, this is carriage only. So let's do like 250 mil. It's 12 bucks. Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive. 300 millimeter rails. So in this case, we're looking at what? MGN. Oh, these are MGN 7s. Oh, these are, okay. I clicked on V0. So that's probably the reason why they're looking so cheap. Let's go to the store. And let's go for stainless steel. What are these? MGN 12s. MGM 12H. And then 300 milliliters or millimeters. Yes, 32. So they're not crazy. They're not crazy expensive, but they're also not crazy cheap either. Gotta pick up my son from school. Sounds great. We're gonna call it. It's 4 o'clock on the dot, and we're gonna. I gotta meet someone shortly here, and then we're going to go out to dinner and run by a spot. If they're open late enough, I'm hoping to go by a fish store. There's a local aquarium. I think I'm getting back into fish keeping. A lot of people don't know this about me, but 10 years ago I worked at PetSmart. I got really into fish keeping, had a really big accident with a pretty large tank, gave up fish keeping, and then decided once we were in our forever home, I would get back into it. We moved into our forever home in like 30 days, and I'm thinking about starting with like a 15-gallon nano, and I've been going crazy looking at fish stuff again. So yeah, anyways, Nazo, you caught the end of it. We caught the end of it, but thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for hanging out and watching me put together what we took apart last week. And the linear rails were way easier to grease than I had sort of thought they would be, which I'm really thankful for. They're using these little using these little blockers was a fantastic choice, and if your rails come with them, I highly recommend it. So yeah, next week we will install the rails, we will do the y-axis, and we will try to get as much of the skirts installed, and I will give us the best chance of success by prepping the heat inserts prior to next week. So, awesome. All right, well, I hope everybody has a fantastic, I hope everyone's had a great first week of the new year, and hopefully I will catch you all next week. Again, if it ends up being an hour early, I will schedule it a few days before we go live, so if you want to catch it from the beginning, you can do so. But yeah, appreciate everyone. Thank you all for the memberships, the support, the chat, the laughs, and you know, all of the other shenanigans like usual. And on that note, I will catch y'all next time. Bye everyone, take care.